The weather outside is about to get frightful, but the hockey promises to be absolutely delightful. It is Hockey Night in Fitchburg here on FATV. I am John Gugerty, joined by Dan Bullock and Tim Foley. And Dan, we are getting ready for a very important matchup between the Falcons of Fitchburg State and the Lancers of Worcester State.
Indeed we are, John. For these two teams, they're both fighting for playoff positioning. For the Falcons, a big win on Thursday night down at Amelia Park in Westfield, a 4-1 victory over the Owls to sweep the season series. Thomas Hardy with a goal and 2 assists, Zach Diamond with a goal and assist, Cole Archambault and Wyatt Wilmshire found the back of the net as well, and Brian McGrath 28 more saves to his tremendous account on the campaign and in his career.
But it's not just Fitchburg State that has something to play for today. You take a look at the top of the MASCAC, Plymouth State. If they win out, they're the #1 seed. Fitchburg is going to be watching them very closely in their game later today.
Indeed. Plymouth finishes with one final game against Salem State, a team they've already trounced 12-1 and 6-2 this season. But if Salem State can pull off an upset, it can open the door for the Falcons to take the #1 seed. The Falcons just need a better result from today's game than Plymouth gets in their game against Salem.
So Fitchburg State needs to handle their business. It is a very important game on the playoff front, but as we bring in Tim Foley, we also want to mention it's a very important game for another reason entirely. It is Senior Day here at the Wallace Civic Center.
That's right, John. It is Senior Day here today. We're going to have a number of Falcons honored, 6 to be exact. It'll be seniors Brian McGrath, Brian Glover, Jordan Holmes, Zach Cormier, Adam Couture, and then graduate assistant Kevin Perry as well, who has spent time in a Falcon jersey. And the first thing that jumps out to me when I think about this senior group is the word leadership. You know, you have 3 guys who are your captains this year, in Jordan Holmes, Brian McGrath, and Brian Glover, who each donned the C this season for the Falcons and have been here the longest. This is mostly a roster of juniors and freshmen who are either in their first or second seasons, but those 3 guys have really been able to set the tone for this program and come into practice, let everybody know what the message is going to be day in and day out, and they've helped whip this Fitchburg State program into shape this season. It's been an absolute pleasure to watch all of them during my time here at Fitchburg State, and it'll be a pleasure to see what they do here on this final senior day.
Now, Dan and myself, we are graduates, we are alumni of Fitchburg State University. We know a little bit of what it is like to be at a senior day. I actually know what it is like to call your own senior day, and I know you didn't want me to mention this, but I'm mentioning it anyway. That's an experience you're going to have today. Talk a little bit about your Fitchburg State experience, Tim, and what it means for you for this to be perhaps your senior day.
Well, yeah, I mean, I can't say you put me on the spot because I had a feeling you'd mention it.
I specifically told you I was going to do this.
You did, and so to keep it brief, you know, hockey has been the one sport I really, truly love calling amid all my time as a broadcaster, and so to be here on senior day of my senior year here in college, it's kind of a bittersweet moment because everything's kind of coming to a T. You know, especially helps the team's been excellent this season. They've been a lot of fun to watch. I'm looking forward to what should be an exciting postseason run, and you know, but it's also, you know, the bitter portion of it. You know, my time here is coming to a close, regardless of how this season ends. It will be my last calling games for the Green and Gold. So to those who are listening, it's been a pleasure the past 4 years, or I suppose you could say 3, having missed last season, regrettably, calling Fitchburg State men's ice hockey and really all other athletics here at the university. Just a big thank you as well to all the folks in the athletics office for enabling me to do what I love on a daily basis here at Fitchburg State.
Well, congratulations. We always love having you here on FATV. Tim's going to be doing the play-by-play for periods 1 and 3 as we get ready for the game. But turning our attention back to the ice here at the Civic Center, Dan, you mentioned this is an important game in playoff positioning, not just for Fitchburg State, but also for the Lancers. They come in with a record 10-12-1. Tell the folks a little bit more about Worcester State has to play for and why they're going to be trying to knock off the #2 seeded Falcons.
So right now, Worcester State, 7-8-1 in conference play. They're on 15 points. UMass Dartmouth they're tied with at 5-10-2 as well. That doesn't normally add up to 15 points, but UMass Dartmouth has lost in overtime 3 times in starting this season. That gets you a point in the standings, much like it does in the NHL. So they're level on 15 points. UMass Dartmouth has the tiebreaker on head-to-head right now. But Worcester State also has a game in hand. UMass Dartmouth's got their final game of the regular season today. And so Worcester State, they've got this game, but they also have Framingham on Monday. They've got a couple of chances to get themselves into a position for a home game. A win would be absolutely tremendous to helping them. Of course, challenges on Tuesday against Salem. Just could not find a way to put the puck past Aaron Mercer, who had a 31-save shutout for Salem State. And Jakub Kubik, the goaltender for the Lancers, he played very well. 28 saves he came up with, but the only shot he couldn't stop, a penalty shot by Joe Smith, 2:58 into the second. Only goal of the game in that one. And so Worcester State looking to bounce back in this one. And another thought for me is Fitchburg State at home this year is 9-1. The one loss was to this very Worcester State team back on December the 4th.
At December the 4th loss, a 3-1 defeat at the hands of the Lancers. Since then, Fitchburg State has only lost twice. They come into this game having won their last 6 games in a row. You mentioned that win over Westfield State, but also victories over Salem State, Framingham State, UMass Dartmouth twice, and Anna Maria. Last game of the season for the Falcons will be in front of the home crowd, here at the Wallace Civic Center. Not going to be the last game at the Civic Center. They're pretty much guaranteed a home playoff game, but you would love to see, Tim, if you're a Falcons fan, you'd love to see them get that #1 seed and potentially host a championship game if it comes down to it.
It really would be amazing for this program to be able to host it, because you think about a potential championship matchup. Of course, everything needs to go right for Fitchburg and Plymouth, the 2 top seeds, to make it to the championship game. But up in Holderness, at that rink they have up there, where that Plymouth State plays at, that is a tough rink to play in Hanaway Arena, and so you definitely want to stay away from there if you possibly can, because the ride up there is tough, and historically Fitchburg has not fared too well there, especially this season, not being able to pick up either of the games they played up in Holderness this season. And so definitely you want to take care of business here first. You know, don't look at the scoreboard yet across town. Take care of business here on the ice against Worcester, and wherever the chips lie, that is where they lie.
Exactly, Young. Fitchburg State knows that Plymouth State has to not do as well as they do. If Fitchburg State gets a tie, Plymouth has to lose. If Fitchburg wins, Plymouth can be the #2 seed with a tie. But the first thing the Falcons need to take care of is their business here on the ice. If they let Worcester State get the jump on them, if they lose this game, it doesn't matter what Plymouth does. Fitchburg's the #2 seed.
Of course, in years past, the #2 seed would get you a bye to the MASCAC semifinals, but for this season, due to COVID considerations, the #7 seed in Framingham will be let into the postseason, so we're going to get a 2-7 matchup instead, and that 2-7 matchup will take place next Saturday. Will Fitchburg State be in it? We'll just have to wait and see where the cards fall.
Teams have taken the ice. Fitchburg State in their white jerseys with green shorts, yellow trim. Other side is Worcester State in the blue and yellow. Very attractive game of hockey about to be played here at the Civic Center. As we're getting ready for the Senior Day festivities, we also want to mention Fitchburg State head coach Dean Fuller with his 578th win, moving into 5th place all-time among D3 coaches. It's just been a fantastic career for Dean Fuller, and he is not slowing down at all, Tim.
No, he really isn't, but I'm 100% certain that the first thing he would say if you mention that stat to him is that he would not care. You know, he's a coach who is so focused on the present and taking care of business now, so much so that I asked him just yesterday about what he thought about a potential first-round matchup with Framingham should Fitchburg not end up with the top seed. He said he just wants to focus on finishing the season right. He doesn't care about any potential first-round matchup or bye thereafter. He just wants to make sure that they take care of business here today, and that's the kind of mentality that's gotten him to where he is today.
We are just about ready for the Senior Day festivities. Let's send it down to the public address announcer. It's Hockey Night in Fitchburg here on FATV.
The Lancers enter this afternoon's contest with an overall record of 10-12-1 and a 7-8-1 mark in the MASCAC, while the Falcons are 17-5 overall and 14-3 in conference play. At this time, the Fitchburg State ice hockey team would like to honor 6 seniors appearing in their final regular season. Zachary Cormier has been a 2-year defenseman for the Fitchburg State ice hockey team, appearing in 12 games for the green and gold from the blue line, posting 1 point on 1 helper, while adding a Falcon defense that has limited opponents to a minimal 2.11 goals per contest. Ladies and gentlemen, #2, Zachary Cormier. Brian Glover has been a 5-year member of the Falcons ice hockey squad. Over his 86-game career, Brian has collected 24 points on 6 goals with 18 assists with 3 power play goals. This season, Glover has netted 6 points on 1 marker and 5 helpers over 22 contests while serving as a team captain. Ladies and gentlemen, number 7, Brian Glover. Jordan Holmes has been a 4-year forward for the Falcons, registering 12 points on 2 tallies and 10 assists over his 73-game career. This season, Holmes has seen action in all 22 games for Fitchburg State, posting 2 points on 2 helps, in addition to serving as a team captain. Ladies and gentlemen, number 12, Jordan Holmes. Adam Kusier has been a 3-year member of the Fitchburg State ice hockey program, seeing action in 44 games, totaling 11 points on 3 goals and 8 assists, while splitting time between the forward position and the blue line. This year, Adam has appeared in all 22 games for the Green and Gold, collecting 4 points on 1 goal and 3 helpers. Ladies and gentlemen, number 18, Adam Kusier. Brian McGrath has been a 5-year member of the Falcons ice hockey team, appearing in 82 games in between the pipes for the Green and Gold. McGrath has etched his name into the Falcons record books, ranking first all-time in career saves with 2,729, while ranking second in games played with 82. In addition to currently ranking first with a goal against average of .223 en route to a 47, 21, and 7 overall record. This season, Brian has posted 558 saves with a 2.0 goals against average and a .939 save percentage, while serving as team captain. Currently, McGrath ranks 22nd all-time in the NCAA Division III ice hockey career saves list. Ladies and gentlemen, number 29, Brian McGrath. Kevin Perry has been a 4-year member of the Falcons ice hockey program, seeing action in 73 career games, registering 18 points on 13 goals and 5 assists, with 1 power play tally, 1 shorthanded goal, 2 game winners, and 1 career hat trick. This season, Kevin has served as an assistant coach for Fitchburg State ice hockey team. Ladies and gentlemen, Kevin Perry. Now, let's meet today's starting lineups. First, for the visiting Lancers. On defense, a freshman from Melrose, Mass, number 5, Cody Porcello. A senior from Franklin, Mass, number 18, Henry Bruckner. At forward, a junior from Niles, Illinois, number 11, Dieter Strange. A senior from Worcester, Mass, number 27, Nick Panucci. And a junior from Saugus, Mass, number 28, Brendan Ronan. In goal, a freshman from Lake Placid, New York, number 1, Wyatt Friedlander. The head coach of Worcester State in his first season is Bob Duraney. The associate head coach is John Coughlin. The assistant coaches are Richard Feely, Jay Punske, and Joseph Spagnoli. And now the starting lineup for your Fitchburg State Falcons. On defense, a senior from Baldwinville, Mass, number 7, Brian Glover. And a senior from Tecumseh, Ontario, number 18, Adam Cousier. At forward, we have a junior from Simsbury, Connecticut, number 11, Anthony Chiolin. A junior from Messina, New York, number 16, Wyatt Wilmshurst. And a junior from Westerville, Ohio, number 26, Hunter Fortin. And in goal, we have a senior from Worcester, Mass, number 29, Brian McGrath. The head coach of Fitchburg State in his 38th season is Dean Fuller. The associate head coach is Tom Patty. The assistant coaches are Vincent Giambrocco, Chris Kine, Mike Chartrand, and Kevin Perry. Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, would you please rise for the playing of the national anthem?
Hockey Night in Fitchburg here on FATV. I'm John Gugerty, joined by Tim Foley and Dan Bullock. We want to thank our underwriters who make this and every production possible here on FATV. FATV's remote productions are underwritten by Workers Credit Union, Rollstone Bank and Trust, UMass Memorial Health, Health Alliance Clinton Hospital, the Sentinel and Enterprise, Unitil, North End Subaru, and Minutemen Press. We thank them all so much for the support that they contribute. I'll also want to let you know, of course, that if you know anyone in the Fitchburg area who is not aware that they can watch FATV, or indeed anywhere in this fine world, go to fatv.org, or FATV programming is available in high definition on your Apple TV, Fire TV, and Roku devices. So many ways to watch FATV, and so many ways to watch what promises to be a very exciting contest between the Falcons of Fitchburg State and the Lancers of Worcester State. Here with all the play-by-play action for the first period is Tim Foley.
Thanks so much, John. As we get set to drop the puck in just a moment here, Fitchburg going to be in their home white, skating from left to right. Worcester, their road blues from right to left. Sit back and enjoy. It's hockey day once again in Fitchburg. The puck is dropped and the Falcons have won the opening draw. Puck went back to the Fitchburg defense. It's found over to Wilmshurst on the far side, and he'll dump it up ahead. Fitchburg coming into today with an overall record of 17-5-0, MASCAC record of 14-3-0, currently tied for first place in the MASCAC, but they need some help if they want that first place bye in the MASCAC tournament. They need Plymouth to drop a point if they're able to get a win here today. Puck still down low in the Worcester zone, carrying it out from underneath his own cage. Max Roth, or pardon, no, that's Cody Porcello. Puck's wrapped all the way around, now kept in along the far side by Dieter Stange. Now battle along the near side, kept in briefly by Jason Lee, the sophomore out of Thousand Oaks, California, but Fitchburg's able to clear it out of the zone, and both sides will opt for a change. Puck thrown all the way down, and that's going to be an icing here, so we'll have a face-off come all the way back down to the Worcester zone. Second line out there now for Worcester State. It'll be Kevin Drevich out there alongside Max Tucker, and also out there Max Moriarty on the right wing. For the Falcons, that second line of Gene Bouthier, Reese Bergman, and Michael Macchioni. Face off to the blocker side, just 42 seconds gone in the first period here. One back by Worcester. Jack Kroll holds on, he'll wrap it around the near boards, and it's cleared out of the zone. Jordan Holmes, one of the 6 seniors honored pregame, throws the puck off the far wall, and it's met by O'Lancer. Picked up by Fitchburg in the neutral zone. They'll throw it down beneath the net of Wyatt Friedlander. Freshman out of Lake Placid, New York, getting the start here today for Worcester. Coming into today, overall record of 4-3-0 across his 9 games played so far. Puck's going to be chipped out of the zone, bounces all the way down. Picked up by Holmes, can't clear it out of the zone. Max Tucker instead keeps it at the blue line. And Fitchburg has to go D to D back inside their own zone. Reese Bergman gains the red line, dumps across ice, and the Falcons go for a change. 1:40 gone in the first period here. Zach Diamond holds on. He'll leave it back for his teammate Egan Wolford. Falcons looking to carry it up ice now along the left side. Toivo Kramer tries to center it for Diamond, but it bounces off of the Lancer stick and ends up in the near corner. Now along the near side, cleared out here by Matt Cole. Cole, freshman out of Munson, Mass. Going all the way down now beneath the net of McGrath. Another one of these 6 seniors honored here today for the Falcons. Puck being fought for along the near side. Cole picks it out, gives it over. Save made by McGrath as it was a low-angle drive from Paul Flitter, who tried to send it on the left pad of McGrath. He's able to deflect it out. Puck still at the attacking end here. Jack Johansson, a freshman here for Fitchburg, tries to defend the shot, ends up going high onto the glove of McGrath, and McGrath signaling there's an equipment issue with his helmet, trying to get the attention of the referee. Play continues on. Ian Hoffman, he'll give it up ahead for Wolford, who tries to stretch it ahead for Cookson. Now here he comes down ice, nearly had a 2-on-1 break with Archambault. Sam Rennick scoops up the trash and throws it on Friedlander for no further play. 17-14 to go in the first.
The last time these two teams played, back on January the 27th, Fitchburg State won 3-2 down at the Worcester Ice Center, and Wyatt Friedlander came in and relieved 17 saves on 18 shots. And since that game, he has done a lot of the work in goal for the blue and gold.
Yeah, he has taken control of the cage for the Lancers. It was Jakub Kubik's net to start the season, but after a couple of rough games, one of them being that Fitchburg game down at the Fidelity Bank Worcester Ice Center, and then in the 7-6 eventual overtime victory for the Lancers over Assumption, getting pulled early in that game, or rather after 2 periods of play, allowing 5 goals on 26 shots faced. Friedlander came in and helped the team to rally for that overtime victory. Worcester pulled the goalie for over 4 minutes toward the end of that game to be able to come back and win, and they ultimately did. Now Dieter Staines along the far side, tries to play it ahead, leaves it back now for the Fitchburg defense. Archambault gains the red line, dumps it in, and he'll go off for a change. Top line working their way out there now. Wyatt Wilmshurst, Anthony Siolan, and Sam Rennick. Here's Siolan, nearly found the puck in the attacking zone, but he was pestered by Brendan Ronan Jr. out of Saugus, and he lost control. Now Worcester out of the attacking end. Here's Ronan all the way on the other side of the ice now, trying to poke it further ahead. Left it up for Holmes. Now it's with Halbing. Up for Siolan, now Fortin. Gains the red line, dumps it in. Top line here pursues. Friedlander holds on beneath the net, and he will sky it directly up into the protective netting. We'll have a stoppage here. 15:56 to go in the first.
Tim, you mentioned Brian McGrath had some issues with his helmet early on in play in the first period. He spent pretty much the entire last stoppage just making sure everything was set there, but he looked very confident in this last pace of play. I think he's totally fine with how his helmet's situated right now.
Brian McGrath, as mentioned, one of the 6 seniors honored here today, and what a career it's been for him notably. We'll talk about all 6 seniors being honored here today. As puck comes back up to the point and just off sides, Christian Halbig couldn't keep it inside the line, and so we'll have another face-off just outside the Worcester zone. So Brian McGrath, just to start going over the numbers because there's so many of them. He is set to etch his name into the record books in several single-season and career categories for the Falcons as Friedlander deflects that puck off into the far corner. He owns 3 of the top 10 single-season goals against average, 2 of the top 5 single-season save totals. He owns the top 3 single-season save percentages in each of his freshman, sophomore, and junior years. He's set to own the top 4 after this season. He came into this season with the number 9th all-time total wins as Anthony Siolan barrels down the right side and delivers one right into the chest of Wyatt Friedlander, who holds on for no further play. And then all-time games played, 82 coming into today. Second right now behind Devin McConnell, who has 85. All-time saves coming into today as well, 27-29, 2,729. He passed McConnell earlier this season, and he is set to own the all-time goals against average of 223 if he's able to continue his pace that he's been on this season. I mean, it's just been the best career that a Fitchburg State goaltender has ever had, and it's been a pleasure to have been able to witness these past few years.
I even knew back as a freshman during the 2017-18 season, the year before you came here, Tim, even I knew then, even though he was splitting time with Kirby Sari, that he was going to be a tremendous force in goal for the green and gold.
Yeah, we're going to have the game's first penalty here as Egan Wolford barreled his body into that of Matt Cole while Cole was facing away from the play, and Friedlander tied up with a couple of bodies out in front of the Worcester bench as he was trying to get off for the extra attacker. So we'll have the first man advantage of the contest going to the Lancers here. Egan Wolford set to go to the box. Fitchburg's power play, or penalty kill rather, this season did the best of the MASCAC, 88.5% on the season. Worcester, their power play sitting at right about 18.6%. That's good enough for 4th in the MASCAC, but to talk about McGrath for another moment, as I've lost my train of thought.
Well, I can tell you too, he's also trying to etch his name into the NCAA record books as well. He already has one of the 25 best save percentages in a single season. He's 22nd coming into today in all-time saves, and as he currently stands right now, he's 6th all-time in career save percentage.
You talked about all of the individual marks that McGrath has on the Fitchburg State ledger, but it's not just him. He is a multi-time MASCAC All-Conference first-team goaltender, former MASCAC Player of the Year as well. He has been, you talked about how he's probably the best goaltender in Fitchburg State history. He's one of the best goaltenders in the history of the entire conference.
And one of the points I wanted to mention, you mentioned a former MASCAC Player of the Year, in fact, reigning MASCAC Player of the Year, as Lancers head coach Bob Duraney has a conversation with the referee along the near side here, trying to make sure he's got his personnel out there correctly. Worcester looking to capitalize on this first man advantage of the afternoon. His numbers when he won the MASCAC Player of the Year back in 2019-20, 11-4-4 record, save percentage at .942, goals against average at 2.05, and 4 shutouts on the season. His numbers this year, they've been comparable. .939 save percentage, 2.00 goals against average, and of course you disregard the fact that he's just played fewer games. He's not going to match the goals against or the saves total that he had, but already 3 shutouts this season as well.
Could very easily be looking at a 3rd all-conference first-teamer.
Very possibly so. And so the power play gets underway here for Worcester. It's a double minor.
With a 2-minute penalty for elbowing and a 2-minute penalty from a hit from behind.
So hit from behind and elbowing. They get him on 2 separate penalties, so he'll have to sit for 4 minutes, so it'll be an extended look at this Lancer power play. Along the near side, Josh Miller tries to clear it out of the zone. Still a battle for it. Thrown over to the far boards now, picked out by Brendan Ronan. Cleared all the way back down ice. As Adam Cousior will go off for a change. Another one of the seniors honored here today, Cousior, set to go into chiropractic practices after this season.
Well, he spent so much of his career wrecking people's spines, now he can fix them.
There you go. Keeping an eye out for his own interests as it's thrown all the way down ice here by the Falcons. They'll kill off some more of this penalty time. Other seniors being honored today, Zach Cormier out of Fitchburg, Massachusetts, the Fitchburg native. He's set to go into the Air Force after this academic year. Not dressed today. He has not been dressed across the past couple of games. He's been dealing with injury, but has been a big part of this Fitchburg team early on in the season and is a great presence around the locker room. And of course, as mentioned, a Fitchburg native to boot for all those locals who are interested. As McGrath able to make the save through traffic on the blast from Max Roth from the point. Now it finds itself in the far corner. Nick Panucci gives it back down low, held onto by Mike Wilson. We'll leave it over now. Picked up as Worcester continues to cycle it around here. Holding on for a brief moment there was Drew Ide. As now it's along the far side. Max Roth holds on atop the right point, works his way around Bouthiet, unleashes a drive that's deflected off into the end boards. Now it comes back up atop the left point. That'll be cleared out of the zone. And Max Roth is going to hold on here as the Fitchburg penalty kill quickly goes for a change. Brian McGrath's able to make the save on Roth's bid. Now it's held on to along the near side here, picked out by Worcester's Max Moriarty. Now far side, cycled back by Ronan, down low, Moriarty's there with it. He's looking for Drevich. Drevich now holding at a low angle right along that left goal line. He's alone with the puck now. Kramer tries to force the issue. Puck's given up to Bruckner. Far side blast, no good from Ronan. Now a battle for the puck down low beneath the net of McGrath. Ronan far side. Had plenty of success last time he was here as that puck hits traffic out in front. Brendan Ronan last time he was here against the Falcons, 2 goals and an assist back in that previous matchup on Saturday, December 4th. Lancers regather and they re-enter. Another minute left on the double minor for elbowing and hitting from behind for Egan Wolfer. 11:34 to go in the first period. Josh Miller pins it against the boards. He's met by Mike Wilson. A couple of other Lancers and Falcons looking to get involved. 3 blue jerseys and 2 white ones. Comes out now for Bouthiet. He's able to dangle along the far side. He'll throw it down the length of the ice. And Friedlander tries to halt the momentum of that puck. Falcons able to get another change off on the penalty killing unit. So another 33 seconds here on the double minor for Wolford. Down ice come the Lancers. Thrown off the near boards now. Max Roth wraps it around the boards. Held on to by Mike Wilson, far side. Finds Roth atop the right point. He'll backhand it back down low. Picked out here by Panucci. Being hounded by Captain Glover. Another one of the seniors here today for the Falcons. Puck's thrown off the end boards now after knuckling off the stick of Max Roth from the point. Here's Roth again. Settles it. Give it far side. Low angle drive. Brendan Ronan sent it on net to McGrath. Sticked it aside, and there was no blue jersey home to put it away on the near end. Egan Wolford's out of the box. 5-on-5 once again. Fitchburg able to successfully kill off the extended 4-minute penalty. Now the puck's loose out in front. Oh, it nearly batted over McGrath, but I think it was Paul Flitter who actually directed it away from the net. As it's now here with Flitter along the near side, given up to the point by Christian Finney. Flitter once again, holding on, trying to dance around Bouthiet. Penalty's over, but Falcons struggling to clear it out. They finally do so, and they find Hunter Ford in stride, left side, on the backhand. Save made by Friedlander with exactly 10 minutes to go in the first period.
Momentum can change so fast. Fitchburg State was playing on the back foot for that entire penalty kill. Time after time, Worcester State would get a shot, pour on the pressure. Even when it got back to even strength, they kept on the pressure. But one breakaway by Fortin very nearly gave the Falcons the lead.
And now it's giving them an offensive zone face-off here with the top unit out there. Anthony Seola, Wyatt Wilmshire, Hunter Fortin. One over to the far side by the Lancers. They'll quickly clear it out. Ian Hoffman does the work of chipping it high off the glass. Delayed offsides here. Adam Kusior trying to fight off Max Tucker, freshman out of Kalamazoo, Michigan, who did not realize that the arm was up. So we're going to take another look at that close chance down low. And so there you see he was batted down in front by Burton. He tried to hand it to McGrath, and then, just then, it looked like it was going to drop back behind the net of McGrath, but Paul Flitter, it looked like he actually batted it away from the goal mouth. That's how I saw it there, and unfortunate break for Worcester, as they could have been up 1-0, but Flitter, in trying to seal the deal, actually called it off.
He was trying to swat it down, but he got under the puck just a little bit and popped it over the net.
I'm concerned about how high his stick was. It might not have counted had it gone in because it looked like his stick was above the crossbar. Flitter, the freshman from Prague, the Czech Republic, playing his 7th career game, looking for his first career goal.
Worcester back up ice. They'll dump it in and go for a change. Drew Ide throwing it down beneath the net of McGrath. Here's Jack Johansson, one of the newer pieces for this Falcons squad here this season. Playing in just his, I believe, his second home game here for the Falcons. Played last week against Westfield. And Dan, you'll have to enlighten me. I was not here for the Anna Maria game.
He was in that contest, and this is his 6th game of the season, mid-season joiner.
As it's deflected out in front, and they score. There's a point drive from Jack Kroll along the right side. Threw it out in front. And Kroll leads the scoring charge. Looks like Worcester believes it's his, and so the Lancers take a 1-0 lead on Jack Kroll's 2nd of the season.
It was Kroll who took the initial shot. It might have touched his stick on the way in. But that was definitely Kroll, basically from the blue line on the far side, beating McGrath right by his right skate.
And it looks like a conversation being had briefly at the Fitchburg bench. Nothing will come of it. So as mentioned, it's the 2nd of the season for Jack Kroll, the sophomore out of Plainfield, Illinois. This is his first season, 2nd season you could say. Joined the team last year, practiced with the team. Was a part of the New York Aviators of the USPHL Premier back from 2018 to 2020. Played 76 games for the Aviators, totaled 32 points. Captain his 2nd season for the Aviators, now here as a sophomore for the Lancers, able to pick up a big win in one of the final regular season games of the, or a big goal rather, for one of the final regular season games of the season for the Lancers. 8:36 to go in the first period here. Face off just outside the Worcester zone. It's won back by Fitchburg and thrown in by Jordan Holmes. Wyatt Friedlander, the reigning MASCAC goalie and rookie of the week. He'll try to wrap it around the near glass. It's backhanded back down low by Max Tucker. Now all the way up ice, right side, carried down, muscled ahead by Max Moriarty for the Lancers. Thrown back out of the zone, that'll come all the way back down into the Worcester zone. Friedlander, as mentioned, goalie and rookie of the week, 2-1 across the past week. Made 100 saves with a .943 save percentage. Also got his first collegiate shutout in a 32 save effort against Westfield. It's a 3-2 win for the Lancers. Puck now within the Fitchburg zone. Brian Glover throws his weight into that of Ian Hoffman. Scrum now in the near corner. Both teams fighting for possession of the puck. Johansson had it on his stick, but threw it errantly toward the blue line, and Jack Kroll's able to step over and shove it back down low. Chance out in front. That one goes off of glass as Will Ahern let it fly into the glass just beneath the net of McGrath. Now Glover once again pinned up against a Lancer in the near corner. Holding on, Bruckner throws it up to the point. Now Kroll throws it over far side. Johansson tries to clear it out of the zone. Thomas Hardy now, he'll hold on here. Hits it over far side for Toivo Kramer, barreling down the left side. His stride, save made by Friedlander. Puck still on the attacking end here for the Falcons. Kramer has his stick lift, loses possession. It's held onto by Drew Ide. We'll give it around near side. Now Jack Kroll trying to force it off along, but amid the scrum, it pops up and out of play with 6:50 to go in the first period.
It was fantastic work by Hardy setting up that one-on-one opportunity for Kramer. Hardy was able to draw 3 Lancers to him just with one simple spin move, and then he completed the circle, delivered a great pass to Kramer, left him with a straight line uncontested to the goaltender, resulted in a good save by Friedlander.
And they've run the scouting report on Thomas Hardy, giving him that much attention as that one goes high up over the protective netting off the stick of Josh Miller and a fellow Lancer. But yes, Thomas Hardy, he's been having a great year. Leads all MASCAC freshmen in assists. Second among MASCAC freshmen in points at 18 as well. He's also got 6 points in his last 3 games played. So he is definitely a name that Worcester has circled coming into this contest as Oliver Cookson gets a low angle drive, and it's Adam Cousior on senior day. He delivers, ties the game at 1 apiece with 6:38 to go in the first.
Just a tremendous shot from the left point, getting through all that traffic, especially after that initial save by Freelander. Just took great pace, a great shot in Cousior, his 2nd goal of the season. The Falcons have leveled it.
Cousior, that is his second goal across the past 4 games now. Had a game in that UMass Dartmouth overtime win as well back on February 10th. As Cousior is thrown into the referee in the far corner. So Jordan Holmes going to get the assist on that as well, and it did not quite catch who got the secondary assist. So we'll find out on that in a moment here. But for Holmes anyway, that is now his 3rd assist of the season. Had an assist in that 4-3 overtime win against UMass Dartmouth as well. But Worcester right back on the attack. They hold on to the attack again. Puck's chipped up and out of play. And we'll have a stoppage here. 5:53 to go in the first period. So Fitchburg found themselves down 1-0. Not the first time that's happened this season. As we'll take a quick moment here. Instead, we'll take a look at the goal. There you see puck comes all the way back up to Cousior atop the left point, and he does not wait long on that puck. One-timer from the left side, just drills it past Friedlander. And ties this game.
Probably just how quickly Cousior is able to jump on that one. Friedlander probably not immediately expecting another shot to come that way that quickly. Of course, he tries to put the glove up and tries to catch that one, but only so much you could do, especially trying to read that puck going through all those bodies in front.
So stoppage continues here as the referee's actually going to head off the ice for a brief moment.
I see Rebecca Shersnow is making her way down there as well towards the locker rooms.
And we will remind you, a moment ago, not long after play resumed, Adam Cousior was driven into the boards and into the referee thereafter in the far corner on the Fitchburg side of the ice. And so taking a moment here to be looked at, and it looks like the referees are going to assume his duties, and they're going to continue playing here. So 2 linesmen and a referee on the ice now, as opposed to the 2 linesmen and 2 referees we're accustomed to. We'll see how that affects play at all here in this first period, and best wishes to the referee, who is currently down and out on the sideline being looked at by Shersnow. Puck's chipped ahead off the stick of Bergman. That'll be moved into the Worcester zone. So Fitchburg this season, whenever the opponent scored first, they're 6-4-0. And, you know, I think it's not to the surprise of many that they still have a winning record despite trailing to start 10 games this season, as this puck goes off the stick of Macchione and up out of play, because we've seen it happen time and time again this season where Fitchburg will sometimes let up a goal, but then they'll have that fire lit underneath them and they'll get going.
Want to mention real quick that Oliver Cookson was also given an assist on the goal by Adam Cousior. For Cookson, that's his 2nd assist of the season, brings him up to a total of 9 points overall.
And so for Cookson as well, that is now...
Excuse me, 6 points. My bad. I can't count.
That is all right. It's a work in progress for all of us at times. And Cookson, that's now points in 3 of his last 4 games. Had a goal last week against UMass Dartmouth, as mentioned, that Holmes assisted on, and also had an assist in that non-conference game against Anna Maria. But now here's a chance down ice. Max Tucker nearly had a break down ice after Thomas Hardy had lost his footing and lost the puck, and now a poor turnover here. Here's a drive that goes just wide past the glove side of McGrath. Martin Lugolinski, freshman out of Slovakia, let that one fly just past the glove side. 4:43 to go in the first period here. It's a tie game. Scoring opened up thanks to Jack Kroll, his 2nd of the game, or 2nd of the season rather, but it was all tied up thanks to Adam Cousior, who was able to find the back of the net for the 2nd time in 3 games, and then, or 2nd time in 4 games rather, and on senior day nonetheless. Now puck beneath the net of Friedlander out along the far side. Worcester trying to clear it out. Near side now, here comes Drevish trying to shake off Oliver Cookson. Cross ice pass. That's met here by Staife. He'll hold on. Backhander over to his defensive partner in Max Roth. Now up further ahead. Finding itself with Egan Wolford. Tries to play it further back down. Wolford holds here inside the red line. He'll dump it down beyond the reach of Friedlander. And that'll be played by Fitchburg here. Now here's Cookson. Low angle. Tries to play it off the outside of the net. Josh Miller now holds on, tries to throw it out toward front, hits off the skates of Archambault. Miller once again holding on right point, tries to work his way down. He's pushed to the ice by Brendan Roden. Cousior onto the ice for Wolford along that left point. Puck stuck in the boards beneath the net of Friedlander. Cookson comes out along the far side. Rennick now backhander out in front, tries to pull it between the legs. Puck is still loose. Cookson put it through the net mouth. Now along the far side, or near side here, still loose. And Josh Miller can't quite get up enough. Block that puck from flying out of the zone. A good shift there from that fourth line for Fitchburg. Cole Archambault, Oliver Cookson, Samuel Rennick. And you know, I talked to Coach Fuller yesterday about some of the depth and some of what his underclassmen have been offering. And of course, each Archambault, Cookson, and Rennick all underclassmen. As this puck's iced, it'll come back down into the Worcester zone with 3:02 to go. And Coach Fuller will talk to you ad nauseum about the depth that this team has. You know, of course, it's a very skilled top line, which we're about to see here in a moment, but the way that guys up and down this lineup are able to contribute in meaningful ways on the score sheet and just with good shifts, such as what we just saw, it helps the team to not have to rely on just one skilled line night in and night out.
And 4 full lines that they're able to roll consistently, and all of them set to come back next year.
Yes, not a senior in any of the forward lines here. Only seniors are defensemen, goaltenders, and a coach. As Wilmshurst tries to throw across ice, Anthony Siolan holds on in the far corner. Yes, you heard that right, and a coach, Kevin Perry, former Falcon player, has moved to becoming a graduate assistant coach as the puck here in the attacking end with about 2.5 to go in the period. Worcester clears it out, and the puck will bounce around in the neutral zone. Kevin Perry saw action in 73 career games for Fitchburg, scored 18 points on 13 goals and 5 assists, had a power play goal, a shorthanded goal, a couple of game winners, and a career hat trick, one career hat trick to boot. Joined the bench this season as it's thrown all the way down, icing here by Worcester. Face off to come to the blocker side here of Friedlander. Thought about it, he was on the initial roster ahead of the season this year for Fitchburg, but ended up opting to become a coach. Still gets to hang around the guys, but frees up some of the playing time and roster space for some of the younger guys. And I think through and through, it's really worked out well for this team. Of course, you still get his veteran presence, but you also get to kind of open up the gate a bit for some of the new guys to get some time. As Jordan Holmes, one of the older guys, puck skips off of his stick and out of the zone. Jack Johansson, one of the newer guys, now holds on. Skates down ice, up ice pass, skips off the stick of Bergman all the way down. No icing. Referees will say it will be deflected off. And so the referee that was down, still off the ice. He's looking on intently as Wyatt Friedlander makes a save. Face-off set to come to his blocker side. Minute 39 to go here. Shots unofficially in favor of the Lancers, 10-8, but Worcester hasn't been getting that many shots off recently. In fact, most of those shots were all recorded back during that 4-minute extended power play look for the Lancers. Fitchburg, it feels like they've been in the driver's seat across the second half of this period here.
Worcester has not actually gotten a shot on goal since that goal with 11-16 into the frame. They've been on 10 ever since.
Nice job keeping it in the zone by both Hardy and Diamond, reunited here on the third line for the Falcons. As now Hardy tries to shovel it back for Kramer. It's held on to briefly by Drew Ide. Ide, far corner, can't hold on. Hardy picks it out, leaves it over for Kramer. Tries to center it. Hardy finds it now on his stick. Second in the MASCAC among all freshmen in scoring, behind only his line mate and Zachary Diamond. Diamond reached a 20-point plateau just recently for the Falcons in his last game against Westfield. On a 4-game point streak right now as well. This puck's going to be thrown in on McGrath. Henry Bruckner doing the deed. Ryan Glover holds on now beneath his own cage. 45 seconds to go in the first period here. A 1-1 game. Adam Kusior was able to tie it up. Now here's Wyatt Wilmshurst down the right side. Had a goal last game. Save made by Friedlander. And he will cover. 36 to go in the first.
I'd be interested to get your perspective on this, Tim, but from my eyes, Fitchburg State came out a little bit flat. I think they were a little bit surprised by Worcester State, but they've really picked it up in the last 10 minutes or so, and they have really controlled the second half of this first period.
Yeah, and it's something that we have seen throughout this season on a number of occasions. We remind you, Framingham came into here and scored one of the fastest goals against Fitchburg that this program's ever seen. And so definitely it's been the case this season where we've seen a couple of slow starts, but really hardly ever is there a doubt that this Fitchburg team gets up and running. And as you said, John, they've really been running this second half. As now here's Fortin into the attacking zone. 13 seconds to go. Tries to feather it through Jack Kroll. Chance out in front. And Friedlander holds on. Number 1 makes a save to keep the score 1-1. 9.9 to go in the first.
I think for Wyatt Friedlander, the big thing he's going to be focusing on this game is his rebound control. The 1 goal came on a juicy rebound, and there have been a couple of times where he's made a save and the puck's popped a little bit of a distance away from him. It's just a matter of the Falcons needing to crash the net and get on those loose pucks.
We've seen that so many times across all of our games here on FATV. Those rebounds can be an absolute killer for goaltenders.
As Couture, another drive, looking for number 2, hit off a body out in front. That'll be cleared out of the Worcester zone, and the buzzer will sound. We'll end the first 20 with a tie game. 1-1 the score. Goals coming out from Jack Kroll, his second of the season, and Adam Couture, his second as well. And you were mentioning it there, definitely going to be a big point for Friedlander. That's such a style of play that these Falcons like to pursue, is just get bodies out toward the front of the net and see what happens. And it wasn't what happened on that first goal, but they've done it throughout the season, and they're certainly going to be crashing the net. So excellent observation. Rebound's going to be a huge turning point in today's contest.
An interesting thing for Worcester is, as long as the stats on USCHO.com are correct, this is the 10th time this season that Worcester has struck first in the contest, and they're actually better off when they concede first, because they only have a 3-6 record when they score the first goal compared to a 7-6-1 record when they give up the first strike. And for the Falcons, conceding the first strike and bouncing back in 2018, that MassCAC championship season, it seemed like they gave up the first goal more often than they scored it, but they could just go back and equalize anyway in quick succession. And that's the trait, that tenacity carrying over the generations. After all, there's still a few players in McGrath, in Glover, in Holmes, and even with Kevin Perry, who are linked to that 2018 team.
And the thing you need to remember too is, you know, the big through line through all of it is the bench boss, Dean Fuller. You know, he gets these guys working in a certain way. He tries to coach a certain mentality game in and game out. And I think part of it is that, you know, you're never out in the game. Until the clock hits triple zeros at the end of the third period, you know, the game is not over. And so many times this season, we've seen Fitchburg, as mentioned, it's happened 10 times they've given up the first goal. But again, they have a winning record of 6-4. And as we head into the first intermission here, Fitchburg, when tied after the first period, it's happened a number of times this season. 8 times, they are 7-1-0. They've been impressive when tied after 20 so far this season. Gentlemen, any other thoughts on the period that was here before we head into the break?
I know for me, I'll also add that Worcester is 3-4 when they're level after 20 minutes. But still, it was a tale of 2 periods, essentially. You had the opening 11 minutes and change, punctuated by the double minor against Egan Wolford. That was the only penalty of the frame as well, the 2 penalties, if you will. And all the Falcons survived that man advantage extended over 4 minutes. It was just that goal that was redirected, considering it was Kroll's goal. It was obviously off a Falcon in front, if anybody at all. But just a challenge for McGrath to stop. But the Falcons woke up after that, dominated the run of play the rest of the way. The only shot the Lancers got in the last 9 minutes after that goal was a dump in basically from the blue line by Bruckner. It was just a great bounce back for the Falcons. And, you know, 40 more minutes of regulation to play. Worcester's always given them fits over the years. That's something I'll talk about a little more in the second period. But that's something, you know, it just adds to the difficulty. And after all, Worcester's already won here once this season. It's going to be interesting to see how this game develops over the remaining 40 minutes and so on.
I don't have anything to add. I think, Dan, you covered it perfectly. We are going to take the intermission break along with the players, but don't go anywhere. We've got the second and third periods still to come. It is Hockey Night in Fitchburg here on FATV. Back here at the Wallace Civic Center on FATV. It is Hockey Night in Fitchburg. I'm John Gugerty, joined, of course, by Tim Foley and Dan Bullock. We have a score of 1-1 as we get ready for the second intermission. And Dan, I think you hit the nail on the head. That first period was really a tale of 2 periods.
Indeed it was. Fitchburg found themselves in the box from Egan Wolford. 2 penalties on 1 run of play. He sat for 4 minutes. And the Lancers of Worcester State got the majority of their shots on that man advantage. And not too long after those penalties expired, they were able to get the opening goal from Jack Kroll, his second of the season. Will Ahern and Brendan Ronan getting assists. on a shot that definitely got tipped on the way off of a Falcon somewhere in front and just beating McGrath just out of the reach of his right foot.
After that early goal by Worcester State, Fitchburg answered not too long after. Goal for them scored by Adam Kuzier. And Tim, there was actually a change in scoring after that first goal.
Yeah, it was initially credited to Adam Kuzier, of course, on the goal, but then Jordan Holmes and Oliver Cookson each were given an assist. Holmes' assist has since been reattributed to Cole Archambault, and so for Archambault, that is now his 4th assist of the season. He's up to 8 points on the season as well. So that is now his assist as opposed to Holmes. But nonetheless, I mean, I think it still just speaks to everything that this 4th line has been able to do for the Falcons this season with Archambault, Cookson, and Reineck, who's been stepping up his production a bit across these past few games, having scored his last collegiate goal, his first collegiate goal rather, against Anna Maria last Saturday. You know, it really has been just a lot of fun to watch the 4th line come to fruition. And as Daniel, as you put it earlier, give this Fitchburg team 4 lines that they can really roll through and through.
12 forwards that can really dominate. And as we mentioned, every single forward expected to come back next year for the green and gold. Of those seniors, we saw Zach Cormier, he's a defenseman. Brian Glover, he's a defenseman. Jordan Holmes, he's a defenseman. Adam Kuzior, he's a defenseman. Brian McGrath, he's a goaltender. Kevin Perry was a forward when he was playing, but as a graduate assistant coach, that's not depth lost on the forward lines. One note, too, there's one other senior on the roster, Chris Matone, but he still has eligibility left, and he plans on coming back next year.
Yes, he does.
I thought maybe, Coach Fuller might get a little bit cute and just start all of the seniors on senior day for just that first opening shift. But then I looked over the roster and I was like, you're not going to run 4 defensemen out there. That's probably not going to be the case. One thing we do want to mention as the officials take the ice here, it is all 4 officials coming back out onto the ice. One of those referees got taken out in the middle of the first period, but he is back out on the ice. So good to see him back out there.
Yeah, that was referee Tony Guglietti, who was wiped out in the far corner last period. As you said, John, good to see him back out there. Tough sometimes as a referee. You'll always get caught in those situations where you don't want to interfere with the play, and sometimes you have no choice but to get hit into the boards.
It's a danger in every sport. I used to be a baseball umpire. That's the first time I've ever said I used to be an umpire. Now I feel sad. Anyway, I used to be a baseball umpire, and I got into it with, I just got run into by multiple players multiple times. As much as you try, the ball finds you, the players find you, the puck finds you. It's just part of the job. It's almost as if we should pay these guys more money, huh? How about that? Just a thought, throwing it out there.
After all, we do have a referee shortage.
That's right.
There are definitely resources out there for you if you are interested in being a referee. I just wish I had them immediately on hand.
Well, we can't have everything.
But as we've mentioned, Worcester State has always been a bit of a thorn in the side of the Falcons. Bob Delaney, he's a first-year head coach. And Tim, I'm going to let you take that if you want it. Sorry. I am misreading your body gestures.
I mean, just to talk about how Worcester has been a thorn in the side of Worcester, to build on your point, Daniel, and having spoken with Coach Fuller about Worcester and how the teams have matched up so far this season. He says just kind of the key to winning this game is just playing good defense, and we saw that throughout the second half of that first period there, where there were limiting chances for the Falcons. So it's just more of continuing that story here in the second period as they try to add a few more goals to take the lead.
Indeed. As Worcester now goes left to right in the road blues, the Falcons right to left in the home whites. As they battle for it down behind the net. Brian Glover trying to dig it out. Brendan Ronan down there. And Nick Danucci for Worcester. Eventually cleared out of the zone, brought to the red line where it's settled by Henry Bruckner. Bruckner trying to move it along. Wyatt Wiltshurst getting in the way of that. Dumped into the zone. Wyatt Friedlander behind his own net. Tossed around far side, off a stick, up in the air. Lands in the neutral zone and floats to the Falcon end, where it'll be Jordan Holmes who will go try to hit the stretch pass for Anthony Ciolin. He's got one man to beat. Ciolin trying to make the moves, but now will double back towards the boards, as he couldn't get around one defenseman back there in Max Roth. Left side boards taken by the Lancers and Jason Lee. Along the near side half court's Forden. took it away for a moment. Lee's going to pick it right back up in the corner. Floated out of the zone, over the stick of Kuzior, the goal scorer for the Falcons. Back to the blue line, and now to Reese Bergman. He gains the zone on the right side. Engaged in battle with Roth is Kevin Drevich, right wing corner. Tosses it around, pick the loose puck up, shot. Trying to hit that top left corner, rebound, scores! A mess out in front, and Reese Bergman is able to deposit the loose puck. Rebound control we said was going to be a factor. It's cropped up again, and the Falcons have taken a 2-1 lead.
Bergman's 8th goal of the season comes less than 90 seconds into the period. Take a look at it again. The initial shot from Macchioni gets blocked, and then it's Bergman picking up the loose scraps, putting it in the top right corner.
And for Bergman, it has to feel like he's getting the monkey off his back a little bit here. Hasn't actually scored a goal since the last time these two teams met down at Worcester at the Fidelity Bank Worcester Ice Center. Had a goal in that game, a couple of shots, ended up being +2 on the evening, but it's been a while. He's been a bit quiet on the production side of things for the Falcons. I think that's part of why you see the shifting in the lines across the past few games here. Of course, with Macchioni now on that second line with both Bergman and Bouthiet. Bergman, he got off to a blistering start this season. He's still one of the top point getters in the MASCAC, but he has cooled off considerably across the past stretch of games. So good to see him get back on the score sheet.
Bergman comes off as a bit of a streaky player to me, but when he's on it, he's on it. Perhaps he likes playing against this Worcester State side. He's into the zone. Hardy is dispossessed. Bergman did have an assist against Worcester State in the first meeting between these two teams. Hardy threw it down front, maybe looking for Kramers, goes through the paint. Freelander may have gotten a piece of that as well. Tossed in the direction of goal, and Freelander will jump on top of that, and a couple words exchanged afterwards. Lest the Lancers be a little frustrated. The Falcons were that close to Freelander as he goes to try to cover. 2:10 gone in the second period. It's the Falcons 2 and the Lancers 1.
It was a long period of time while that puck was in the Worcester State end. There was just a loose stick in front of Brian McGrath. It's kind of funny watching him say, like, can I get a little bit closer to this? Can I shove this out of the way? Is the puck going to come back to me? He finally got it halfway to Worcester State's bench before the whistle blew.
A little meta gaming that goes on away from the puck.
I'm sorry, did you just say meta?
A little bit.
We're going to have to talk about that off air.
Probably. Has certain business ruined that word? Hand pass is called here.
That's meta.
Has it always been that way?
That's the entirety of my point.
Anyway, the faceoff will come one zone out of the zone. So the faceoff outside of the Lancer end. Third line out there for the Falcons. Cookson to take the draw for the green and gold. End up losing the draw, but the Falcons will take the loose puck from Johansson and dump it in. Jack Kroll, the goal scorer for Worcester. Peter Staith, the right wing corner. Now taken by the Lancers behind the net. Quickly trying to move it around behind the goal line, eventually moving it out to the red line. Egan Wolford knocking it along, but played on by Flitter. Flitter around the boards. To the left side, Mike Wilson tries to chase it down as that puck continues to float out of the zone. Eventually tossed back in by Worcester. Wolford on the far side as he moves with the puck. Passing up for Archambault. Engaged in battle with Will Ahern. Far side in front of the penalty boxes. Falcons try to settle it down at the red line, now moving into the zone. There's the shot that's off a couple of sticks, it so seems. Archambault taking the shot for the Falcons.
You love to see Archambault. I keep talking about this fourth line and how great they are. We've seen that a number of times from Archambault where he just muscles up ahead. He's shaking his head a bit on the bench there, but still a really nice job to grant himself the opportunity in the attacking zone.
Pounded off the boards. Falcons try to get it out. Ian Hoffman got in the way of that for Worcester. 4 players digging out at the half boards in the near side. Thrown in the direction of goal by Christian Finney. He's listed as the extra skater for Worcester today. That strikes the ceiling. That's our second stealing strike of the day. On this roughly 2.5-story ceiling And the faceoff will come back in the Falcon end with 16:10 to go in the second.
At least that one didn't almost go into the ceiling. Like, the panels directly over the ice are nice and tight, but you get over the back wall there, they're kind of draping down. That first puck that hit the ceiling came oh so close to just disappearing into the netherrealm.
I think it takes a beating after a while. Not sure the last time they really replaced that lining up there.
The ceiling is probably a little over 10 years old at least.
That sounds right. I remember when they put that in.
And now Reese Bergman trying to get on that puck. And trying to clear it out of the zone was Nick Panucci.
Mark Rochelo was here when they put that in, so yeah, that was a while ago now. Shout out to Mark Rochelo if you're watching. Hi, Mark.
Puck now behind the Lancer net. Falcons will dig it free. Bouthiette in the right wing corner, trying the acute angle shot. Whiffs on it, but gets it to the right point. Halbig's shot is well off the mark. Michael Macchione in the right corner, looking to wrap it around. Does put a backhand on Freelander. Second effort, and Freelander sticks with him and covers that for a draw. So I was going to mention Bob Duraney, first-year head coach for the Lancers, but by no means his first season coaching college hockey. It's actually his 20th. 19 years he coached the Providence Friars women's ice hockey team. 319 wins down in Rhode Island, a tremendous run he had with Providence College.
One for every square mile of Rhode Island. It's a true fact that's not actually true.
Certainly a storied head coach, as a seasoned head coach, also making a name for himself out in Worcester as well. Of course, head coach of the men's team here for the Lancers, and also a volunteer assistant coach for the Worcester Railers of the ECHL.
And he did come from the Railers. He was an assistant there. He remains an assistant there as he coaches the men's hockey team here at Worcester State. He replaced Shea Toporowski, who stepped down after a few years. Toporowski, like Duraney, came into getting the coaching job with the Lancers while also having a Wikipedia article already, because Toporowski played 3 games in the NHL.
Anything to get a Wikipedia page these days. That's all I'm trying to strive for.
That's on every broadcaster's bucket list, isn't it?
That shot whistles high over the crossbar and ricochets out of the zone. Yeah, that's, I think, something tremendous to strive for. Do well enough that you get your own Wikipedia article.
Or poor enough.
Yeah, oh, okay.
Yep. You don't want to have
well.
shoot for having it for the right reasons.
I suppose infamy is what I was referring to, not poor talent.
Yeah, I think that's what I was thinking of too. 14:07 to go, second period. Fitchburg State 2, Worcester State 1. Reese Bergman has the goal in the second period. 6 minutes gone. Shots are pretty low, just 3-2 in the frame. 10-10 from the first. Easy math. Rennick forced off the puck by Max Roth, who was fully aware he's on television. He waved to the camera during the pregame. Roth skates it up. Goes to Drevich on the right side. Shot stopped by McGrath. And whistles follow that. No one with their arms up, but the officials felt it was proper to stop play there.
We're not exactly subtle with the camera placement. I've noticed over the years here at FATV, as we've gotten a little more comfortable and a little closer in our relationship with Fitchburg State University, you know, we've got cameras right up against the boards now. We've actually constructed a camera platform here on the near side.
I saw that. It's actually it's like custom cut.
That's the Travis Hawk joint, that is.
Yeah, it's very, very well done.
I've seen him putting a lot of work into that and making sure it's all nice, proper, and fit to the boards so that it brings nice stability and gives us tremendous angles. It makes our job so much easier. It makes our broadcast so much better.
That's a tremendous example right there.
Here's Hunter Ford, a good move on Roth, trying to get around on the second effort. But Roth stuck with him, trying to throw it towards the blue-painted Wilmshurst with Seolin. Seolin has it back behind the net. Out to the left side for Brian Glover, cross ice. Right side, Wolford's shot. It got a piece of somebody in front, and then to the corner. A delayed penalty coming here. We'll see what we've got. High sticking is what's indicated. I think it's against Fitchburg. And Wilmshurst is going to the penalty box. He started out the season tremendously disciplined, but he's been taking penalties lately at a bit of a clip.
Yeah, his last penalty coming in the last home conference game against UMass Dartmouth, that overtime victory. Prior to that, had another one against Salem back on February 3rd, so he has been picking them up a little bit here, but relatively still disciplined throughout the season, as you mentioned, Dave.
It's just his 4th penalty of the season. It just feels like he's doing it a lot when I'm seeing it. But this is going to be power play number 3, as Samuel Rennick is going into the box as well, for reasons that I imagine our public address announcer will communicate to us shortly. One would hope. Worcester is 0 for 2 on the man advantage. Could not find a goal on the 4-minute double minor back in the first. Kevin Drevich on the left side.
16, Wyatt Wilpser with a 2-minute penalty for a high stick.
So Wilpser's called for the high stick. And try to throw it off. McGrath out in front, pops out to the point. Now at the left point, picked up by Mike Wilson. Wilson battling with Bouthiette. Moriarty can't keep a hold of that one. It's cleared out of the zone by Ford.
You don't suppose Rennick's in there just to keep him company? You know, I mean, we didn't get anything from the PA address here today, Jared Oral.
It felt
it's
like
a close-knit team.
Yep, and he felt like he just snuck right in there while nobody was looking. And now right out in front, a great chance of McGrath. Able to make that stop as he falls onto his side.
Speaking of people who just snuck right in there when no one was looking, I don't think any Falcon accounted for Diner Strange coming up along McGrath's right side. He nearly had a golden opportunity. We'll take a look at it again here. Puck just comes right to him. He just couldn't put the biscuit in the basket. Great opportunity to tie this game up, but an equally great save made by McGrath.
And when a goalie falls in that direction that way, save and a rebound and another chance jamming away out of McGrath, kept it out. He's going to say if a goalie falls quite that way, that's not by design. That's the position your body was contorted in as you went to try to make that save. But whatever gets the job done. 35 to go on the power play for Worcester. And that's tossed around the boards and out of the zone. Falcons coming in today with the 8th best penalty kill in all of Division III hockey.
Yeah, it's really been something to behold. Just the way that they're able to lock down. I mean, they just jump right on guys. And I mean, it's not to say that they don't allow shots. Of course, it helps to have your best penalty killer on the ice, be one of the greatest goaltenders that this school's ever seen. You know, so that's certainly going to help your numbers there. But you know, they've had some success shorthanded as well on some scoring opportunities. So they like to kind of be aggressive as well when it comes to being on the penalty kill. And they're able to be successful here.
Wilmshurst is out of the penalty box. The Falcons are back to full strength.
Of note is that Rennick's actually out of the box. Wilmshire still taking a seat.
Right, so that was interesting. Wilmshurst have the misconduct today, and Rennick was serving. Well, we'll have to find out. Loose puck on the right side, not able to get a clean shot before the pressure was Will Ahern. And a high rising shot, referee ducks out of the way of that one. Ahern trying to pick it up on the left side boards.
That was Mr. Townsend who had to duck. All of the referees are in the crosshairs today.
No one ever said it was an easy job, and no one ever said it was a safe job either. Reactions have to be on point, and your attention span a mile wide. 10:05 to go, second period. Fitchburg State 2, Worcester State 1. Panthers dump in and change the lines. It's Glover. Backhands along the boards looking for Ford. Didn't get the memo at first. Shakes off the Lancer and keeps control of the puck on the far side. He'll skate it up ice on the right wing. Trying to make the moves. Turnaround shot goes just wide. Great effort to get the shot away, though. Just not quite on target. Wolford back at his own blue line. Battling with Matt Powell. In the right wing corner. Popped out of the zone, just barely. And Worcester's got to double back and protect the puck. Jason Lee just getting all sorts of harassed there. Falcons will have it back, blue line pass. And Wolford from the red line dumps in, but I think the Falcons may have been offsides and there may have been a touch there. Here to make it offside. 9:18 to go in the second.
We talked earlier about the production values that we bring here at FATV, and they're pretty darn good. Want to thank our volunteer crew, as always, bringing all the sights and sounds to you here from the Wallace Civic Center. Our director today is Nate Glennie. Travis Falk running the audio board and graphics as well. Camera operators Caitlin Mobilia, Alyssa Fields, and Matt Sinclair. Thank you all so much to them for all the great work that they do.
Indeed. Lancers have back in their own end now, storming up ice from Dieter Stange. Cross ice to the right side looking for Panucci. Falcons able to put it out of the zone. Push back in, Panucci dispossessed. Out to Roth. His shot, or ends up taking all of Bergman's stick and sends that 50 feet away. Falcons keep control on the near side boards and get it out of the zone. Ronan, now another stick goes flying out of the hands of a player. It's Johansson back in his own end for Bergman. Throws it down the ice in the direction of goal. Just catches the paint, but not quite on target, as it just misses the post by a few inches and will go for icing. 8:30 to go in the second, 2-1 Falcons. Going back to when Shane Toporowski was the head coach of Worcester State, these two teams met 20 times, and Fitchburg went 10-8-2. 6 seasons worth of regular season play, 2 playoff games, the team split them. But it was always a challenge to play Worcester State with Shane Toporowski's system. I wonder how much Bob Delaney has retained of that. It does feel like bringing the play to the boards like Worcester likes to do is something that I definitely remember from those days. McGrath will go and cover the loose puck as it migrated from behind the net out to the side, and McGrath felt, that's a little too dangerous.
Yeah, if you just look at the records, a team that's 17-5, hosting a team that's 10-12-1, you expect a bit of a cakewalk, but that has not been the case. Worcester has played Fitchburg State very tight, at times looking like the better side. I would not be surprised if they equalize at some point in the rest of this game.
And remember, guys, Worcester is the one blemish that Fitchburg has on their home record so far this season. They play well against Fitchburg.
Indeed, of those 5 losses, 1 against Worcester, 2 against Plymouth, both up in Holderness, New Hampshire. The other 2 against Albertus Magnus and New England College. Both those games played in New Hampshire. Ignoring the fact Albertus Magnus is from Connecticut, that was a neutral site game. On the near side, here's Drevich into the zone on the right circle. Tries to throw it in front. They score! And pinball around to the left side of the goal mouth. And into the net it goes to tie it.
Tim, maybe you saw this differently. I think Brian McGrath put that in the net himself. I think he was sliding in front to block a centering pass, caught the puck with the inside of his right knee, and steered it into the back of the net.
It definitely took a weird deflection out in front. We'll take a look at it right now. Here's Drevich down the right side, and definitely, a bit of a tough look right there as we're trying to get a clean look at it, but definitely it only found McGrath. It was not the Lancer crashing out in front who was able to put it in, and so just like that, tie game.
I don't know if McGrath misjudged it or if he just got beat through the 5-hole, but the end result was the puck going right through his legs and tying this game up.
And with Drevich getting the goal, I think the official scoring is in agreement on that one. That was not the one that the player crashed into the boards of Max Moriarty. He didn't get a touch on that one. It's Drevich's goal. That one blasted just wide, thrown out in front, off a Freelander into the slot. No Falcon immediately there. Glover on the left side boards. Tries to put it across, but Ian Hoffman intercepts and dumps down the ice, slowly making its way across the goal line. We'll have another look at that last goal.
This will be from another angle as well.
Went off of Miller. I see.
That's it.
So Josh Miller trying to get a knee down to obstruct the passing lane, inadvertently put it right on McGrath. Unfortunate break for the Falcons.
If it had gotten cleanly to Moriarty, there's a very good chance he would have put that home, but it wouldn't have been 100%. But yeah, I knew it changed direction on the way. But yeah, that's not as soft as we thought it might potentially be. It was just a matter of that point-blank redirection, and McGrath already committed to stopping the initial shot. Just makes things all the more challenging. But it is a 2-2 hockey game with 6:45 to go in the second period. 3 shots for the Falcons in this frame, 6 shots for the Lancers. It has been a relatively low event period. As Wolfer behind the net, thrown out in front by Diamond. Nobody there for Fitchburg. Ronan into the zone. Dispossessed by Halbig. Puck out to the far side for Wolford. Now Ciolin. On for Diamond, and he can't keep a hold on it. Jason Lee will now skate it up, now Ronan. Ronan the right circle, into the point, a shot saved by McGrath, rebound, loose puck. And not much more can be done with it, as Forden will throw it out to the far side.
What a huge save there by McGrath. You have Max Roth, one of the top point scorers on this Worcester State team, right in the slot alone, nobody in front. And McGrath's able to stand tall and get the glove on it. Very impressive save there by McGrath.
15 saves for the senior netminder. Falcons gain the zone. Macchione's shot paddled aside by Wyatt Freelander. In the left wing quarter, Moriarty along the boards for Finney. On the right side, Worcester. Pass up to the near. From the red line, dumped in by Henry Bruckner, captain of this Lancer side. Moriarty behind the net. Taken by the Falcons, pushed out of the zone, right back in by Worcester. Over and back, but they were onside. Drevich now along it, loose in front, but not getting a clean shot away was Kevin Drevich, and we'll have a penalty coming here with 5:17 to go in the second.
I believe I saw an indication of hooking to be the call.
And Jean Bouthiette is the guilty party. He'll sit for 2 minutes. Join Wilmshire in the penalty box, who has been serving a misconduct, we believe, although it's not even in the official live 10 stats.
Maybe it's just warm in there.
It's on double secret probation.
Okay.
This is going to be power play number 4 for Worcester. The Falcons have not had a man advantage in this contest, and Worcester is a relatively clean team. They've only committed 10.8 penalty minutes per game, compared to the Falcons' 17.3, although a lot of misconduct's in there.
21, Jean Bouthiette with a 2-minute penalty for okay.
And as much as we want to joke, guys, about Wilmshire still being in the box, and we're not really sure as to why at this point, that is still just a huge blow to this Fitchburg offense. He helps enable that top line. He's one of the top assist getters on this team so far this season, so to not have the setup guy for both Forden and Seolan is going to hurt this Fitchburg offense until he's out of the box.
And a shot scores! From the point, it's Bruckner who released it. It found its way through everybody, and Worcester has retaken the lead. Yes, there's not much more you can say. Henry Bruckner got the puck at the blue line, just fired it through a lot of traffic. And the third-year defenseman from Franklin with his 4th goal of the season has seemingly given Worcester a 3-2 lead. But they're not going to drop the puck at the center dot.
Is that offside, maybe?
Perhaps. I mean, that's something we'd have to take a look at the replay for, just to give the guys in the truck something to search for right now, because we're not exactly sure why that may have been called back. I mean, that's the only thing I can reasonably think of, John. There
may have been someone in the paint position that may have been goaltender interference, incidental contact.
Crease, I heard. Yes, there was somebody in the crease is what I heard. Public address announcer Jared Orell announced just then, so perhaps we don't need the replay on it, at least right now, because we do know there was somebody in the crease.
So strike from the record, what I've said over the last moments or so, except for the fact that that goal has not been given. The penalty remains on the board. Still 55 seconds to serve on Bouthiette's penalty. Roth whiffs on that one and will go and retrieve. Try to atone for his error there.
It's a huge swing and a miss. It's going to burn at least 15 seconds off of the power play. Now as Worcester State tries to recover, they dump it in hastily. Fitchburg State sends it right back out.
It's definitely a bit of a relief for the green and gold, giving up what could have been a momentum-shifting power play goal, but not given, as one of the Lancers had set himself up in the crease. But that one may very well be given. The shot came from the right point and maybe tipped on the way by Nick Panucci. Worcester does have that power play goal, and they now do have that 3-2 lead.
It's been one deflection after another. We'll take another look at this one again. The initial shot comes from Roth. And then it's batted in by DiNucci.
DiNucci just moving his stick.
Goal made by number 27, Nick Panucci, with assists from number 6, Max Roth, and number 28, Brendan Ronan.
So 3-2 lead. Shot goes off the shoulder of McGrath. Now in the left wing corner, the Falcons' end. 7th goal of the season for the Worcester native, Nick Panucci. On the right side, backhand chance. Stopped by Friedlander, but a penalty. Fitchburg's going to get that power play they've been looking for.
Real quick before we talk about the man advantage coming up here for the Falcons. You said it, John. It's been one deflection after another. No goal here today has beaten Brian McGrath cleanly here for Worcester. But I mean, hey, the goals count all the same. You have to do what you need to do to be able to beat a guy like this in net, and so far it's working for them. They're up 3-2.
I was just going to ask you, Tim, how much of that is strategy? No, we'll get an answer to that in a second, but let's take a look here. Just diving. Okay, if you reach out with your right arm and you literally sweep at the legs, yeah, Christian Finney, you can't do that. You can't reach out and trip a guy with your arm like that. But real quick, Tim, how much of that deflection is strategy? How much of it is almost play design by Worcester State, knowing that they can't really get a straight shot past Brian McGrath? How much of it is positioning guys in front of goal to deflect that puck?
Well, head coach Bob Duraney, he's a smart guy here, bench boss for the Lancers, and so no doubt that he's done the research necessary on McGrath to try to come up with a formula for his team here today, and that you have to definitely imagine that just kind of throwing pucks out in front and having players out in front be ready not only to screen McGrath out in front, but try to redirect it to beat him, and it's worked a couple times here today.
Lancers definitely going for quality, not quantity necessarily. Only 19 shots on target, but they've beaten McGrath 3 times.
And obviously, you know, something like the deflection by Miller, you can't plan for that, you can't strategize that. That's the kind of thing that just sort of happens. But still, you have to give credit to Worcester State for the attack. They're never coming straight at McGrath. There's always someone there, like you said, Tim, to screen or to deflect. And it's gotten the puck in the net 3 times, which is more than most teams can set.
McGrath's stats looking to take a little bit of a tumble after today's game with the 16 for 19 performance. He'll continue his pursuit on the D3 saves leaderboard, but still a bit of a step back. But the Falcons are going to need some goals here. Again, they're still trying to keep their hopes of a #1 seed alive. They need to come away with the victory to really keep that rolling. And also, if they do get the win, they will take at least a share of the regular season title. Haven't had any portion of the regular season title since 2010. That was the first season of MASCAC play as well. That banner has been looking pretty lonely with 3 years on the board up there on the left side. The Falcons can't add a 4th to that if they come away with the win today. With a shot out in front, another backhand chance. Friedlander sticking with it. He's got that covered. Puck may have come loose after the whistle, but nonetheless, play comes to a stop with 1:44 to go in the second and 33 on the man advantage.
Yeah, Oliver Crimson not too happy. Felt like it was a bit of a quick whistle. He was batting way down low. Thought he still saw it, but play coming to a stop. And real quick, just before the puck drops here, you know, to talk about how this penalty was brought about. Hunter Fortin, he'd always just does such a great job of working his way down ice. We saw it last time. We had a full booth up here at FATV where Fortin was able to work down ice and draw defenders in a way that forces them to take penalties. So Fitchburg, just 33 seconds left on the man advantage here. They have to hope to get something here. One of the best in the MASCAC. It is just their first look of the night, but even still, you want to try to be able to make it a productive look.
Worcester will try to clear it. The Falcons 24 for 93 on the man advantage, according to NCAA.org. That's 25.8%. 11th in all of D3 and tops in the MASCAC. Worcester's penalty kill 81.6%, 71 for 87. Out of the zone it comes, and on a breakaway, Will Ahern going to goal. Stopped by McGrath. Tries to get to the loose puck and follow on, but McGrath is able to get his glove on and shut it down.
McGrath, as I noticed as Ahern was coming down the ice, it looked like he wasn't even set until right about Ahern reached the high slot. I mean, take a look here. McGrath, he's still just kind of standing a bit, gloves out in front of him. Then he gets the glove set right as he's coming in between the hash marks. So McGrath not wanting to show his hand a bit too much, but I think it just speaks to the confidence that he has in net there, that somebody could be standing right in the slot unobstructed on a breakaway. And he's still in about a half a stance. He's still got plenty of time in his mind to be able to get into position to make that save.
McGrath hasn't been tested too many times from a power play situation. Fitchburg State actually hasn't conceded a shorthanded goal all calendar year. The last one was back in that 3-0 loss against Albertus Magnus on November the 27th.
The Falcons have such a dominant power play in that regard as well. The only shorthanded goal they've conceded this year. The penalty is up to Christian Finney, the freshman from Draper, Utah, the most penalized player on this Lancer side, is free of the sin bin. With 45 seconds to go in the period, the Falcons still buzzing, trying to find themselves an equalizer. Only 7 shots in this period for the green and gold, and Wilmshire's being in the penalty box for a lot of it due to what we feel is a misconduct that was not reported. That misconduct has finally come to an end, and Wilmshire is free. At least he'll have rested legs, but that was something that very much made a difference for the Falcons.
Definitely did. We talked about how just not having them available for that top line, and then of course just then having missed out on having your full top unit out there, with Wilmshire being a great setup guy on the power play as well. A tough break there for the Falcons. You finally get them back, and we'll have them for the entirety of the third as well.
Rush across to the far side, but settled down by Dieter Strange. Near side thrown into the zone with 20 to go in the period. Falcons trying to settle, but again, Worcester taking the battle to the boards and really slowing down the pace of play. Here's Bergman getting free a little bit. Bergman looks, shoots, save by Freelander. Rebound wasn't that juicy, and Macchione couldn't keep it in the zone because he'd lost his stick. Wolford will just keep it away from the Lancers and run out the clock. And for just the 6th time this season, the Falcons are going to go into the second intermission trailing.
We talked about how the first period was a tale of 2 periods. I think you could say the same about the second, guys, and it really does, it feels like the turning point was that misconduct penalty by Wilmshire. Since he went into the box, Worcester State just grabbed this game by the throat, and they looked to be the better side for most of that second period, especially in the later stages.
Definitely, it hurt having that option for you not available, as I was talking about toward the end of the period there. And so Fitchburg's going to have to come out in the third, and of course they have some work ahead of them to do, but we've seen it happen where Fitchburg's been behind, and they're able to come out and do a lot of damage. Fitchburg so far this season, when trailing after 2 periods, has not happened very often. They're 1-4-0. And so they've only been able to pick up the victory once this season when trailing after 2. So going to have to flip the script a bit on what's been kind of the trend so far this season for the Falcons when down.
But that win was the first time they played Framingham back on November the 13th, just the 2nd game of the season. The Rams led 1-0 going into the 3rd period, but the Falcons got 3 in a row to put that one away.
And another saving grace here for the Falcons, if you're Fitchburg thinking about kind of how you play the game, the 3rd period is that's when you start to operate. Outscoring opponents 32-13 across the final 20 minutes of play this season. So if you're Fitchburg, you have to have a quiet confidence that you're going to be able to come out and tie this game up. But of course, you're not going to feel good about it until you're able to tie this game, take the lead, and have the clock hit triple zeros.
Worcester is 7-1 when leading after 40, and they've been outscored in the 3rd period, though, 31-25, after they've outscored opponents in the second, 23-19. So as the stars and numbers align, the Falcons could very much come back and win this game. They're just going to have to take care of business, as we've said. Can't look too far ahead to the potential of a home game in the playoff. The number 1 seed in the playoffs, or adding a year to that regular season champions banner. They've got to take care of business. They've got to come away, at the very least, with 1 goal more than Worcester in the next 20 minutes.
Yeah, take all the numbers and records, throw them out the window, and it's the Battle of I-190. Forget about it. There's going to be a lot on the line here across these past 20 minutes. These 2 teams are going to be fighting for it hard.
We will take the second intermission with the players and bring you all the exciting action of the third. Don't go anywhere. Hockey Night in Fitchburg continues here on FATV. Hockey Night in Fitchburg continues here on FATV from the Wallace Civic Center just off John Fitch Highway on the campus of Fitchburg State University. I'm John Gugerty, joined of course by Dan Bolak and Tim Foley, and we have ourselves a very, very enjoyable game here. 3-2 in favor of the Lancers as we get ready for a critical third period. Mr. Bolak.
Indeed, Worcester was, I guess, in the end, the better team in that second frame, outshooting the Falcons 12-10 and outscoring them by a 2-1 margin. Reese Bergman, a minute 21 in, got the opening strike for the Falcons from Macchione and Bouthiette. But then we saw Wyatt Wilmshurst go to the box for secret reasons. He served a misconduct, and Worcester took advantage. Just like in the first period, they took advantage of Egan Wolford's double minor to shift the momentum in their favor. They did so again in the second period off of Wilmshurst's misconduct. Kevin Drevich and Nick Panucci got the goals for the Lancers, both of them off of deflections in front.
Want to let the folks at home know that you can catch all FATV programming in stunning high definition via your Apple TV, Fire TV, or Roku devices. You can also, of course, go to fatv.org, or hey, just download the FATV app. Now, Tim, in addition to this being senior day and it being very good from a morale perspective to get a win in front of the home fans on senior day, this is a very important game for Fitchburg in terms of playoff positioning.
It certainly is. You lose today, you can kiss the 1 seed goodbye. Plymouth has the head-to-head tiebreaker on you, meaning that even if Plymouth were to lose their game today at home against Salem in their own senior day, they would still get the top seed in the conference tournament because they took the season series against Fitchburg by an overall record of 2-1. And so if you're Fitchburg, definitely need to pick up that win here today if you want to maintain standing and have a chance at that top seed. But of course, Fitchburg's game now and Plymouth's game later on tonight, puck dropping in about 22 minutes. Those aren't the only games going on today, actually. Taking a look at the rest of the conference, Westfield is visiting UMass Dartmouth. That game actually, I believe, should have wrapped up by now. Of course, the live stats not always likely to cooperate. A 5-1 final, UMass Dartmouth able to beat Westfield. And so what that does to the conference standing is UMass Dartmouth is now at 17 points. And Worcester State, they are 2 points behind them. So they're trying to look to match that and move into a tie for third place in the conference. Now, Daniel, perhaps you know this. I am not privy to it. I'm not sure who owns the head-to-head between UMass Dartmouth and Worcester at this point in the season. Actually, no, I can tell you it is UMass Dartmouth who has the head-to-head there. So Worcester does need to pick up this win here today and then another win on Monday. As mentioned, we'll be playing against Worcester. That is the only chance that Worcester has to getting the 3 seed. If they're able to lock up the 4, that would also guarantee a home game, but they have to be able to win here today, and then they'll keep it within their oown destiny.
Yep, Worcester, so with Westfield's loss, they're finished at 16 points in conference play, 7-9-2. UMass Dartmouth 6-10-2 with 3 loser points will finish on 17 points. So a Worcester win will guarantee they will finish ahead of Westfield, which will make things a lot easier. And if they get a Plymouth loss from Salem, that could get them a top 4 seed there. But yes, for Fitchburg, though, the big thing, as we've mentioned, they've got to try to come away with points to keep any potential chance of keeping a shot at the number 1 seed. I would like to see them come back and win this game because at the very least, they can at least add another year to that regular season championship banner on the far left there.
Also tonight, Falcons fighting to beat the all-time point record, or program point record. They had 28 points in that 2009-2010 season in conference play, 2 points a win. And of course, they've matched that with 28 here this season on that 14-3-0 conference record. A win here today would set a new program record for points in a conference season. So as we get set for puck drop here for the third period, the Lancers are going to be skating from right to left. The Falcons from left to right. Sit back and enjoy. It's the third period of action here in Hockey Day in Fitchburg. Once again, puck thrown further up ahead out of the Fitchburg zone all the way down ice. Bergman was trying to connect with Macchione, but the pass just skipping through his possession, and it's going to come all the way back down into the Fitchburg zone.
Clock ran for about 6 or 7 good seconds after that whistle.
And it doesn't look like anybody's caught it other than us up in the booth here, and so those seconds will officially disappear from history as McGrath able to swallow up the shot on the face-off bid from Worcester State.
It's part of the peril of being a broadcast team in a league that doesn't have replay. We can see everything. We just can't do anything about it.
It is unfortunate, especially with the great coverage we have here at FATV. You can't imagine how many ticky-tacky situations may have been resolved if they just put on the skate guards, headed out to the production truck, and took a look at what we were able to grab. As the face-offs, one back by Worcester in the attacking zone, going all the way down along the right side here. That'll be Henry Bruckner throwing it down. The captain thought he had a goal back in that second period, ended up being taken away. Not very long before Nick Panucci was able to find the back of the net and put Worcester up 3-2. Holding on here now is Joshua Miller. He'll flip it high up and out of the zone. Macchione will step up, slap it in, and get off the ice. Now here's Gene Bouthier, picks up the puck, near side, gives it out to Wilmshire. High slot, a drive, deflected off with the body. Hunter Fortin finds it along the left circle. Jordan Holmes lets it go, that goes wide right. Wyatt Wilmshire's now, Jack Johansson crashing along the near side. Ends up going it all the way around. Hunter Fortin leaves it behind now for Anthony Siolan. Plenty of contact being engaged in here as now Fortin in a race for the puck. Finds Bruckner in the corner. Johansson tries to stand up. Brendan Ronan. Puck now working its way back through the neutral zone. Jordan Holmes finds it in the attacking end. Has it skip off of his stick. And the Lancers hold on back in their own defensive zone. Up ice now, Max Tucker tries to force it ahead. Wyatt Wilmshire does a nice job of stripping the puck away and throwing it down on Friedlander. A minute, 40 seconds gone here in the third period.
It's only been one shift, but it feels like a different Fitchburg side now that Wilmshurst is back on the ice.
Allows that top line to get into a rhythm. They've been playing with each other all season long. Of course, you did have a stretch of games earlier in the season where Anthony Siolan was out, but it's been smooth sailing for this top line for Fitchburg across the past about Baker's dozen games or so out of the break. As now near side here, Toivo Kramer can't hold on. Now up ice. Kevin Drevich tried to lug it through the Falcon defense. Short angle chance, no good from Lancers Paul Flitter. Now another low angle bid, no good. Drevich will go off for a change. Big hit on the far side. Sent down to the ice with Zachary Diamond. He was ran into by Peter Staife. Staife 6'3", 205. Diamond 6'3", 220. Staife able to get the better of the exchange. Now here's Bergman to Kramer. A one-timer. A tie game. 3-3 with 17:13 to go in the third.
Bergman taking the puck into the zone. And I remember as watching him come into the zone there and seeing Kramer on his right wing, I'm thinking he's going to pass it over there. He goes over there to Kramer, who just winds a perfect shot past Friedlander to tie this game.
That's something that we've seen so often this season from Fitchburg, as Zach Diamond's actually going to head off of the ice here. He's heading off toward the locker room. Athletic trainer Rebecca Scherstno heading off after him, so we'll have to see what perhaps comes of that. But to talk about the goal again for a moment here, we've seen it time and time again as there was blood apparently being drawn across the face of Zachary Diamond, and so hope the best for him as he took some contact from Staife. But again, to talk about that goal for a moment, we've seen so many times this season where Fitchburg's worked the one-timers so well. They just have a firm understanding of where they are, where one another are on the ice at any given point in time. And so, very nice connection there between Bergman and Kramer. Two guys who typically aren't on the same line, aren't here today, but even still were able to connect with one another to tie this game at 3 apiece. Now Worcester back the other way quickly, trying to make something happen, and McGrath is laboring back in the defensive zone. Puck all the way up now in the near corner here in the Worcester end. Held on to briefly by a Lancer, now carried out by Mike Wilson. McGrath still hobbled over a bit. He's getting ready to have to make a save, but he's in some discomfort right now. Puck along the near side now, held on to by Flitter, put out in front. No blue jersey there to put it toward the net. Now here's Archambault up the far side, racing in front of his bench, surrounded by 4 different Lancers. Now near side, able to backhand it down low. Well played by Archambault. Cookson now in pursuit of the puck down low. Going over far side, Rennick can't maintain possession, but he does throw down the body of Will Ahern. Now left side, thrown just wide left of Jack Kroll, already a goal tonight. Now it's finding itself along the far wall. Oliver Cookson trying to dig it out. Now it's finding itself onto the stick of Paul Archambault up the near side. Here's Rennick. First career goal, last home game against Santa Maria. It's thrown around now back to the near side. Jordan Holmes gives it down low for Archambault. Archambault walking in, low angle, out in front for Rennick. He couldn't put it on net. His stick was lifted as the puck came just in front of him. And on a stoppage here, there's a big hit up in front of the Fitchburg bench. And referee here today, Tony Guglietti, looked as though he was gesturing toward himself on the call, perhaps a my bad sort of situation. And then also thereafter signaling for the 2 linesmen to separate a couple of players involved behind the play. I believe it was Jordan Holmes and Ian Hoffman, who may have been tied up briefly. Play continues on. Face-off just outside the Fitchburg zone, right in front of that Falcon bench. McGrath still out on the ice for Fitchburg. Wyatt Wilmshire is his centering feed, goes through Seola, finds Fortin along the near side. Poked down, no call on the play. Stick connecting with the skates of Fortin. Now Worcester back up ice the other way. Here's Dieter Stange, cross ice feed. Glove save made McGrath on Brendan Ronan. Ronan looking for his 3rd goal of the season against Fitchburg, unable to find it there as McGrath able to track that puck well. Play stops with 15:04 to go in the 3rd period.
McGrath looks to be in very obvious discomfort pretty much any time the puck is not in the defensive zone, or as he preps for a face-off here, you can see him kind of double over, almost stealing himself, getting ready for those moments when he has to get back in the action. He is definitely not playing at 100%. Real quick, while we have another stoppage here, want to go back to that big hit on Zach Diamond. He barely got back to the bench, and you could see as he was coming off, it was not a small cut across the forehead there. He took a big hit.
So that would be a big loss for Fitchburg, even if they get him back next game in the playoffs, whenever that would be, whether it's after a 1st round bye or if it's a date in the 1st round with Framingham. Still hurts to lose him for the rest of this game. Leading all freshmen in the MASCAC in scoring. He's got 20 points coming into today as a high stick will force play to come to a stop here. Toivo Kramer trying to move it along. 14:36 to go in the period here. Kramer and Hardy, a couple of Falcons being surrounded by a slew of blue down low beneath the cage of Friedlander.
I wonder if Kramer was thinking that may have touched a Lancer, and that's why he tried to play on there, but the official said no, that didn't really happen. And also, as I'm thinking about McGrath, there have been a couple of moments in this game we've thought there have been rather unconventional moments involving McGrath, such as the way he went down after one save onto the side of his body, his late reaction to getting ready on a breakaway. I'm wondering if he's been laboring through this for more than just this 3rd period. It definitely gets that feeling he's not quite at 100%. None of these goals I would put on him today, but still, just all deflections, all challenging for any goaltender to stop. Marty Berdore's probably giving up 3 with those shots today.
I did feel like there was a moment earlier in this period that was where he was perhaps ran into. That was more of note than what we saw earlier in the game, but definitely perhaps the case as Miller now. His drive is blocked back up to the point. Adam Cousior scored his 2nd goal of the season earlier today. Miller's drive deflected out in front. That goes off the glass beneath the net. Bergman now finding Miller once again. Goes over to Cousior. A drive goes off of a body. Looked like Kevin Drevich was able to lay it down and send it back down ice. Held on to here by Cousior. He'll leave it back for fellow defenseman Josh Miller. Miller holds on. Still with the J at the front of his nameplate. Reminiscent of when he was a teammate with Boomer Miller back in that 2019-2020 season. Anthony Sciola now wrestling down the near boards with Max Roth. Puck goes over far side, picked up by Worcester, thrown out of the zone by Paul Flitter. Now here's Fortin spinning through the neutral zone, trying to hold on to the puck. Almost slaps it back out. Sciola up ahead now. Now here's Wilmshire, tries to dance his way through Roth. On the backhand, tries to leave it behind for Fortin, but a nice stick coming out from Roth to deny the puck into the slot. 13 minutes flat to go here from the third period at the Wallace Civic Center, as the faceoff's going to come all the way back down into the Worcester zone. 12:58 to go now. So to recap the scoring for you so far here tonight, back in the first period, Jack Kroll opened it up, his second of the season. Will Ahern and Brendan Ronan the assists. Adam Couture then tied it up not too long after, about 2 minutes later. Thanks to assists from Cole Archambault and Oliver Cookson. Then come the second period, Falcons took their first lead of the evening, and Reese Bergman was able to score his 8th goal of the season. Puts him up to 24 points on the season. Play once again going to come all the way back down into the Worcester zone after another icing. That goal assisted on by Macchione and Jean Bouthiette. So that second line, it's been productive here tonight, and they've had a couple of nice shifts as well. Kevin Drevich then tied it up at 2 apiece, his 4th of the season for Max Moriarty and Max Tucker. And then on the power play toward the end of that second period, Nick Panucci put Worcester out in front with his 7th of the season. But then Toivo Kramer, his 7th of the season, able to tie this game at 3. Here's Kramer once again, has it on the backhand, into the slot, looking for Archambault. It's still loose in front. Kramer got it on net. It's loose underneath the seat of a Lancer, and that's thrown up into the netting. Falcons hoping for a penalty call here, since that was cleared directly back up behind the net of Friedlander, but it looks like we're not going to have a penalty call here for delay of game against Worcester. Instead, we'll have a face-off come right to the blocker side of Friedlander with 12:33 to go in the third period.
Of course, in the college game, you basically have to prove intent that they absolutely did it on purpose, because it's not automatic. In the NHL and professional hockey, it is an automatic 2 minutes if it goes straight out like that.
And I think that's part of what Fitchburg was hoping for, is that whenever you feel like it's clear backwards, such as that, out of the zone and up into the protective netting, I think that's really one of the few situations in which you can really argue intent, as opposed to just trying to clear it high off of glass and you threw it up about an inch or two too high. Is now wrestling his way into the attack again. Peter Staife worked his way down. Couldn't get a shot off on net, but got the puck down low for the Lancers, and now they hold on here. Mike Wilson, junior out of Alexandria, Virginia, had it briefly in the neutral zone. It's thrown in now and held on to by Egan Wolford. Now a long stretch pass all the way down. Reese Bergman, first one to receive it off the end boards. Spinning his way around Henry Bruckner. Now Bergman still trying to pick it away down low beneath the net. He's met with 2 blue jerseys. Now Hardy trying to chase it down along the far side. He's able to backhand it back. Now Bouthiette tries to step up, forces a pass up ice that goes right off of a Lancer and into the attacking end. Now here's Glover, the captain, one of the 6 seniors honored here today on Senior Day. Zach Cormier, Brian Glover, Brian McGrath, Jordan Holmes, Adam Couture, and grad assistant coach Kevin Perry. Held on to here by Reese Bergman, now back beneath the Worcester net. They'll carry it out along the near side. Ian Hoffman gains the red line. He'll throw it all the way down. It's around far side. Adam Couture with the backhand tries to tip it up and out of the zone, but it's kept in nicely by Nick Panucci. Now along the near side, Michael Macchione clears it out of the zone. Shoveled right back in by Dieter Stange. Eye off glass. Josh Miller gets it ahead. Goes off of a Lancer, they'll say, so no icing. 10:50 to go in the third period. Near side held on to here by Christian Finney. He'll clear it up and out of the zone. Miller meets it. He'll throw it right back down. Fitchburg's only been tied once so far this season after regulation. It was the last conference home game as Friedlander gets a cover here. That was the 3-3 tie at the end of 60 against UMass Dartmouth, and then with just about 30 seconds left in the overtime period on the power play, Hunter Fortin was able to get a funky bounce to get it over the shoulder of
Parker Butler.
In net for the UMass Dartmouth Corsairs with 10:33 to go here in the third period now. As Anthony Siolan tries to keep it in for Fitchburg. Thrown out of the zone now, and Adam Kushor has to regather out of the zone. Worcester holds on in the attacking end here. Defending end, rather, as it's thrown out of the zone by Kevin Drevich. Now up the near side, here's Max Tucker. Tucker tries to leave it back for Drevich, but it's left in no man's land. Drevich now the backhand, tries to get it further down low. All the way up ice, Josh Miller throws it right onto the tape of Drevich. Drevich now trying to work his way ahead past Siolan. Into the zone, a blocker save made by McGrath. Now it's thrown off to the far wall, held onto by Jack Kroll along the right wall. Down low, held on to briefly. Max Moriarty trying to get around Adam Kusior. Far side, Jack Kroll has it knocked off of his stick. And now Drevich once again finding himself with the puck in the attacking zone. 9:28 to go in the third here. Worcester mount a successful offensive attack here. Good pressure in the attacking zone. Centering pass just skips past the stick of Moriarty. There's a good attempt from the corner coming out from Paul Flitter. Now in the corner still, near side, held on to. Mike Wilson tries to break it free. Now here comes Hunter Ford, blazing up the right side, moving in on Friedlander, a save made. Puck's loose. The only person here, it was a Worcester Lancer. Now here's Cookson, tries to force it ahead, trying to work past fellow number 5, Cody Porcello. Far corner now. Friedlander tries to lay it softly beneath his own net. Oliver Cookson now knocked off the puck down low. Battle for it still. Worcester able to come away with it. Now up ice. Here they come. Matt Cowell, right side, tries to dump it into the zone past Halvik. Backhander from Holmes. Now meets Archambault. He's moving up ice. 3-on-3 here. He's got Cookson and Rank. His fourth line trying to do work. Here's Archambault. Moving down ice. Stuck now beneath the boards. Pinned up by Roth and Staife. Archambault has to double back for it. Has it knocked the other way. Nice move by Roth to dance around a couple of Falcons. Now the entire fourth line has been moved past by Roth as he unleashes a high shot that goes off the glass, scaring the awaiting team as they are awaiting their chance to come out onto the ice after the conclusion of this next game. 7:56 to go in the third period here. Michael Macchione now near side. He's got it with him. He's got Bouthiet and Bergman with him as well. Centering feed from Bergman goes off the near wall. Now Glover gloves it down off the end wall off a deflection. Centering feed once again from Bergman. Glover another drive, goes off of traffic. Puck's loose. Macchione tries to do a hop and a step over Henry Bruckner, who is down on the ice. Glover now near corner, throws it off the end boards, has to find Bouthiet. He's being pummeled into the corner. Bouthiet able to now strip it away. Has to find Macchione, who leaves it down low for Bergman. 7:19 to go in the third. Centering pass once again from Bergman. He's looking for somebody in the slot, but not a body's there. Now it's held onto down low by Fitchburg. Centering feed now. Bergman's in the slot. No good. Goes off a body out in front. Bergman said, you know what? Nobody's going to be in the slot. I'll be in the slot. And unfortunately, shot does not get through for the Falcons. 6:56 to go. A stoppage here. Icing is going to force the faceoff to come all the way back inside the Fitchburg zone.
Dan, there were times on that last exchange where it looked like Worcester State was playing with 6 goaltenders. They had their entire defensive unit just almost stacked up in front of the net. They were not going to let anything go. It looked for a second like something was going to squeak in there through all of the chaos, but absolutely nothing got past Wyatt Friedlander.
Just looked like they were absolutely cocooning there in their own zone. We have a whistle here. But not afraid to sacrifice their bodies there to protect their goalie, but just so tight deep in the slot to try to support, but also let the Falcons get those free shots. It's just a matter of trying to get them through the labyrinth that were the Lancers.
So a hand pass draws that last stoppage with 6:48 to go now in the third period. A very quick short angle drive from Brendan Ronan, sticked aside by McGrath, ends up being deflected off into the boards beneath the net. Worcester mounting an attack here in the offensive zone. Line out there now for Coach Deraney, Dieter Stange, Brendan Ronan, and Will Ahern. Line out there for the Falcons right now. That second line of Gene Bouthiet, Michael Macchione, and Reese Bergman. They'll go off for a change, and the fourth line makes their way out now. Or rather, third line making their way out there now, but it looks like Oliver Cookson's going to be filling in duties for Zachary Diamond. Now this puck deflected up ahead. Christian Finney tries to force it up. Brian Glover plays it off the near side. Thomas Hardy deflects it ahead for Cookson. Now he finds Kramer near side, working his way in. Centering feed for Cookson. But a body out in front. Christian Finney sliding into the way. Freshman defender out of Draper, Utah. That's now held on to here by Drevich. Knocked off briefly by Kramer. He's able to get it back down low now. It's held on by Moriarty. Drevich goes down low to retrieve. Having to fight off Kramer. Kramer does a nice job of stripping it away and doubling down ice. Here he is, left side, briefly poked by Jason Lee. Kramer losing an edge, goes down into the boards, and now it's carried back up ice by Lee. 5:28 to go in the third period. Left side, and offsides is going to be called here. Brendan Ronan was carrying it over the left side as the whistle was blown, so we'll have a face-off come to the left side. 5:26 to go in the third period.
Mentioned Zach Diamond not on the ice for his regularly scheduled shift. Want to mention for folks who may have missed it, he has been out of this game since early in the third period. He took a big hit on the far boards, barely made it to the bench. Pretty sure I saw blood on the face. They were also looking at the left shoulder there. He has not been seen since he went back into the locker room area.
A tough loss for sure to not have his presence out on the ice. They have to hope that they'll get him back for the playoffs when they soon begin. Wilmshire chases right after the likes of Worcester State's Cody Porcello into the attacking zone. As now puck battled for along the near side, batted down by Matt Cole and thrown over to Jack Johansson. Johansson throws it over the red line. Wilmshire will tip it into the zone, and the Falcons will go off for a change. Second line, Bouthiet, Bergman, out alongside Macchione. Here's Holmes beneath the net, takes a pass, cuts out in front of McGrath. He'll backhand it all the way up to Bergman, tries to leave it through for Bouthiet and Macchione, but neither of them can disrupt the pass from Jason Lee into the neutral zone. Stumped right back in by Fitchburg. 4:10 to go in regulation here. Gordon Holmes tries to backhand it up ice, but instead he backhands it up into the bench, and Wyatt Wilmshire gives it a little dump back onto the ice. So we'll have a face-off here coming right at the center dot here. Kevin Drevich, former line mate of Hunter Ford on the Boston Junior Bandits of the NCDC, set to take the draw now. One over to the near side. Fitchburg able to get possession briefly, but now it's poked ahead by Worcester. Here's Drevich, near corner. Lost it. Now Johansson backhands it up ahead. All the way out of the zone. Peter Staife back to retrieve for the Lancers. He'll go D to D. Up ice pass as Max Roth was looking ahead for Drevich. Just skipped his stick. Ends up going all the way down for an icing. Face off to come back inside the zone of Friedlander here. 3:45 to go in this third and final period of regulation play.
I do wonder how the addition of the overtime loss point to the MassCAC standings this season might affect how these two teams strategize in the last few minutes. For Fitchburg, that point doesn't really do a whole lot for them. It does a lot more for Worcester than it does for Fitchburg.
I'll tell you the one thing that's on both of these teams' minds right now, Daniel. Win. As Thomas Hardy dumps it around the near boards, is thrown all the way down, goes around to the far side. Max Moriarty gives it back down low. Now Max Roth tries to clear it out, but it's held on to here by Kramer. He's cycling around the near side. He's got some room. Being pestered by Moriarty, now left behind for Archambault. Leaves it off for Glover. Glover does a nice job keeping the right hand up and available to disrupt the clearing attempt from Kevin Drevich. But now Worcester moves out of the zone up the left side. Here they come. Brian Glover out of nowhere throws his body into Max Roth and breaks up the down ice break. Now here's Archambault up through the neutral zone. Toivo Kramer tries to play it ahead. Glover throws it on net. Friedlander tries to reach out with the glove hand, cannot obtain possession. 2:48 to go in the third. Puck bouncing its way back inside the Fitchburg zone. Brian Glover, first one there to it. Had a single hand on the stick as he tried to play it. There it is again. Pinned up against the boards by Will Ahern. Now near side. Here's Hunter Fortin carrying it out of his own end. Now left side. Gives it over for Wilmshire. Holds on along the goal line. Throws it off the near wall. Anthony Ciolin tries to put it on net, and it ends up finding itself stuck. I want to say that was stuck in the blocker briefly of Friedlander. Play came to a stop nonetheless. 2:21 to go in the third here. Offensive zone faceoff coming for the Falcons. Anthony Ciolin on the draw. Going up against Mike Wilson. One back by Ciolin. Fortin then presses ahead along the right side. Coming in, goal line, backhander, no good. Rebound pokes out far side. Hunter Fortin now holds on once again, this time atop the far side of the zone. Cycles back down low, near side here. Right wing wall leaves it over for Josh Miller, assumes the position of an attacker. Now left side holds on here. Cycles across the top of the zone. Comes all the way back down low beneath the net of Wyatt Friedlander. Now back door chance here for Wilmshire. He tries to go around Friedlander. A scrum in front, and Friedlander holds tight to the post to keep it deadlocked at 3. And now a scrum going on here. Wyatt Wilmshire is being helped to his feet by the referee. He's being caught up by a couple of Lancers. Mike Wilson there, as well as Will Ahern. And now Anthony Ciolin as well, exchanging a few words here as he was getting up off of a knee.
Ciolin was in tight with Mike Wilson for a lot of that last exchange, Tim. Their sticks got caught up together. Neither man was willing to just back off and let them break apart. So they were basically stuck together for a good 30, 40 seconds.
Tension certainly starting to flare here. Last regular season game for the Falcons. Assured a top 2 seed in the Mass Pack, but it's only the top 1 that gets them the bye. As out in front, Bouthiet nearly strips it and seals it. But now it's back out of the Worcester zone. Up ice, here comes Panucci left side. Tries to wrap it all the way around, nearly able to connect with Dieter Stange. Now it's held on to by Macchione briefly. Kept in the zone by Drew Ide. Able to find Panucci. Left side, holds on. Spinning backhander, finds its way back down low. Picked up now by Ide. Far side, his drive into the glove of Brian McGrath for no further play. A minute 15 to go in regulation here. A tie game, 3-3. Shots right now in this third period of action favoring the Falcons so far. 10-7.
Dan, did your eyes go as wide as mine did when Jason Lee skated right in front of his own net, surrounded by 3 Falcons? Gene Bouthiet nearly got gifted an incredible goal.
Just a great opportunity there, and the Falcons definitely have been forcing the pressure in the last few minutes. Going back to my metagame thing from earlier, with the overtime point looming, is just the thought that, it's not to say you're not going to go for goals necessarily, but for Worcester, it's like we're going to play a little more defensively. The puck's in our end because we're focusing more on suppressing as opposed to trying to disrupt the Falcon attack necessarily and try to make a break up ice.
We're under a minute to go in the third here. Thomas Hardy steals at the blue line, finds Kramer, gains the zone, looking for Archambault. The puck just trickles wide left. Kevin Drevich using every last bit of his 6'4" frame to keep Archambault from getting a chance at the puck. Now back up ice. Worcester able to clear it out of the zone, but Fitchburg holds on to the neutral zone. Thomas Hardy on sides. Gains, keeps it in front of him. Cannot center for Archambault. Archambault is just a step behind. Now here's Kramer shielding the puck, trying to leave it again for Archambault, but a couple of missed connections here on this makeshift third line for the Falcons with Zachary Diamond not out there. Up ice pass, Drevich tries to receive, but Halbig disrupts and forces the puck back into the neutral zone. Now here's Ciolin, cross ice pass, 7 seconds. Wilmshire, the drive! Blocker save made Friedlander. Centering feed, and Friedlander will get a glove on it with just 2.8 seconds to go here in regulation.
Credit to the Falcons, they've definitely had the momentum in this third period. They've definitely played the better frame.
We'll have the face-off come to the blocker's side here. Anthony Siolan, Hunter Ford, and Brian Glover. Wyatt Wilmshurst and Wolford out there as well. Puck's dropped and never leaves the circle. As the horn sounds, triple zeros grace the clock, and each team is going to get a point here tonight, but the next 5 minutes are going to be all about who's going to get that extra point, as, of course, as we've mentioned, whenever a game this season in the MASCAC goes into overtime, both teams are accredited a point. They'll play 3-on-3 for the next 5 minutes to determine a winner and see who's able to come away with that extra point. So Fitchburg this season, as mentioned, they've only gone to overtime once this season. That was the last home conference game against UMass Dartmouth. Also 3-3 going into the break. Ended up coming away with the win with just about 30 seconds left on the power play. Hunter Fortin was able to notch the goal. Guys, what's the key going to be for this 5-minute 3-on-3 overtime period coming up?
I think for me, the 3-on-3 favors Fitchburg a little more, especially with Worcester playing so much more defensively in the last 10 minutes of that period. You can't stack 6 guys in the slot, essentially, in a 3-on-3 overtime session, and that's the reason, by the way, why they've added that overtime point for losing in overtime, just because they're going to 3-on-3 hockey. This is the first season that they've done this in MASCAC play. That's actually an NCAA-wide edict to get consistency across the board in how overtime is played.
Another reason I would say this favors the Falcons, Dan, is that all of Worcester State's goals tonight have come from cluttered situations, complicated setups, deflections, that sort of thing. With fewer bodies on the ice, the play is naturally going to be more open, more free-flowing. It's going to come down more to precision passing and speed on the ice, and I think that's really where Fitchburg State has the advantage.
And so the 3 for each team will be as follows. For Worcester State, they're going to start off with the likes of Brendan Ronan, Nick Panucci, and Max Roth. The 3 for the Falcons are going to be Anthony Siolan, Hunter Fortin, and Joshua Miller. The team swaps sides once more. Brian McGrath now down to our right. Wyatt Friedlander now down to our left. Worcester still in their road blues. Falcons still in their home whites.
Only in the Mighty Ducks do you see a jersey change at the end of a period.
And so here we go. The puck is dropped. We're underway. It is overtime hockey for you here on FATV. Some free hockey action for you as we continue along here. It's the final regular season game of the season for the Fitchburg State Falcons, as Josh Miller leaves the puck behind. He was hoping for Fortin, but instead he got Ronan. Now Worcester a chance to move up ice. Here they come down ice. Here's Max Roth, gains the blue line. A drive, save made. McGrath can't hold on to the puck. Skitters off of his right pad and goes off into the boards beneath the net to say Fitchburg State. Now up ice, here comes Fortin left side. He's got Siolan with him, but a couple of Lancers joining him as well. A nice cut here from Fortin down to the right side. He's got one this season. Does he have another? Now down low, he's kept to the outside. Fortin now, the backhander, leaves it over for Miller. Met by Roth, now Bouthier onto the ice. His drive goes wide left of the net of Friedlander. Grabs his own rebound off of the end boards. In fact, he'll skate back out of the zone. Falcons looking to play a puck possession game instead of constantly pressing the attack. Good up ice movement here as Bergman into Bouthier. Can't get the deflection to go on net. Friedlander doesn't have to make a save. Hold on to here by Ronan. He'll give it over to Roth. This top unit still out there for the Lancers. Ronan's been out there the entire time, as has Roth. Ronan will finally go off for a change. And Roth will dump it in. And in fact, no, he'll turn the puck over and have to stay out on the ice. Bouthier now dancing his way around, carving through the defense and getting a shot on Friedlander for no further play. 1:36 gone in this 5-minute overtime period.
Tim, you mentioned Worcester State keeping their first attacking line out on the ice. They really didn't have a chance to switch guys out. Even when Fitchburg State was rotating players and changing guys onto the ice, they did great work in maintaining possession and keeping up the pressure.
It'll be Kevin Drevich on the draw here in the attacking end. He's lining up against Toivo Kramer. Face off one back by Kramer, up over to Couture. Now it's thrown down low. Hold on to here by Friedlander. Leaves it back now for Stange. Up ice come the Lancers into the attacking zone. Stange working down the right side. Out in front. Oh, he had Drevich all alone in the slot, but Drevich, it just hopped over his stick. Now back up to the point. Ahern up to Drevich. Now left side down the ice. Here comes Bruckner, but it's knocked away. And back out of the zone. Off to the races. Here comes Adam Couture. He's got a goal here tonight on senior night. And a save made by Friedlander. Toivo Kramer picks up the rebound. He's got Hardy open on the left side. Hardy now cycles down low. Skates down beneath the net. Comes around. Far side now. Holds on still. Miller out there now onto the ice in place of Couture. Hardy still holding on. Finds Kramer, a nice tape-to-tape pass. He'll hold on along the far goal line. Miller was crashing. He found Hardy instead. Now back up to Kramer. He'll leave it for Miller once again. Falcons buzzing in the offensive zone during this first 2:42 of this overtime period as it's thrown into the attacking end once again. Hardy will opt for a change as Kramer pressure. He'll come back out of the zone as Dieter Stange will force him out. Hunter Fortin holds on here. As mentioned, he's already got an overtime winner this season. Cuts to his left, puts on the brakes, skates into the slot. A drive goes off of a body out in front. It looked like it was deflected off the stick of Henry Bruckner. Bruckner now has it on that stick. 1:50 to go in overtime. He'll hold on, the captain. In fact, he'll leave it back now for his teammate and Mike Wilson. Wilson will carry it over the blue, then red, into the attacking end. Leaving it back now, held on to by Finney. Forced to the outside, Finney waiting, skating, left side, tries to come out atop. Gives it up now, looks instead for Ide. Trying to give it back down to Wilson, but it skipped over his stick and it finds itself back down low once again with Ide. Back up to Wilson, a shot, that goes off in glass. First one to it on the far side is Christian Finney. Hunter Fortin keeping Finney pinned against the boards. Fitchburg tries to gather up ice, but a missed pass from Anthony Ciola to Joshua Miller gives it right back to the Lancers. Matt Cole now tries to work his way down. Josh Miller, his cross ice pass, finds Wilmshurst off the far boards. Here he comes down the right side. Wyatt Wilmshurst breaking his way in. Gets a shot just sliding in on Friedlander off that left pad. Friedlander wanted to play it, but Wilmshurst had doubled back to force the check. And we'll have a stoppage. 50.1 seconds to go. It was about this time that a penalty was called on UMass Dartmouth in that first overtime period. In that first overtime game of the season for the Falcons. That penalty ultimately helping Fitchburg to come away with the 4-3 victory, having the 4-3 man advantage. No penalties so far in this overtime period. Gene Bouthier will skate back out of his own zone. He's got Glover and Wilmshurst out there with him. 3 on the ice right now for Worcester State. You have Brendan Roden out there alongside Max Roth, as well as Matt Cole. Here's Glover being pestered along the near side by Max Roth. Under 30 to go now in overtime. Wilmshurst up ice off the far boards. That'll go all the way down. First one to it's Gene Bouthier. He's able to cancel it out. Ryan Glover now trying to chase it down low. Cut back to the far side. Here's Bouthier. Time running out. 15 seconds left in overtime. Bouthier has it knocked off his stick. It goes back out of the zone. Falcons quickly re-enter. Bouthier now far side. Knocked off his stick. Here's Wilmshurst walking in. A drive just deflected wide left. 2 seconds to go now. They got to shoot it. Glover's drive eaten by the body of Matt Cole. And that is how the game will end. A 3-3 tie after 65 minutes of play. And so the regular season comes to an end for the Fitchburg State Falcons. 29 points in conference play, a new program record amid MASCAC play over these past 11 seasons. And they're able to come away with the point here today. It was a hard-fought game through and through. Worcester, as we've mentioned, guys, all season long, they just match up nicely against this Fitchburg team. They always take it to the Falcons every time these two teams face off.
A lot of times when you see these matchups like that, it's a matter of how these two team systems work, and sometimes you have systems that aren't quite compatible with each other. That makes it so much more challenging for a team that has success like Fitchburg State to deal with. We're seeing that, you know, with Framingham State getting 3 points against UMass Dartmouth and going winless against everybody else. just a matter of different systems at play. And here, yet again, Worcester continues to be a thorn and ends up being a split in the season series, a win, a loss, and a draw. The Falcons get to 29 points, but now they're going to need a regulation loss from Plymouth State to get the #1 seed.
It's going to be very interesting if these two teams were to somehow meet again in the playoffs. Well, this was a very good game. I think a tie at the end is the right result. That third period felt very even at the end. Both teams had good chances in the overtime. Disappointment for the Falcons not to come away with a victory here on Senior Day, but I think a tie is the right score here.
Well put, certainly you could say so, as this was a well-contested matchup between these two teams down the stretch. And so for Fitchburg, again, their conference record now sits at 14-3-1. This would have been the first season on record in the MASCAC era that Fitchburg had not tied a single game, but it comes down to the final day of the season, and they do ultimately end up with that tie. So not this year will the Falcons be able to avoid the tide, but as you put it, John, though, a back-and-forth game that it does feel like a tie is sort of the right verdict for this game with the way that these two teams were able to play. And, you know, I think for both of these teams, I think you have to be happy with it in that a game like this almost sort of leaves you discontent, hungry for more, and that's just the kind of mentality you want to be in as you head into the postseason. For Worcester, granted, they'll be playing another regular season game against Framingham. That'll be coming up on Monday. That'll be a 3:50 start time at the Fidelity Bank Worcester Ice Center. But for Fitchburg, that's it. And so your next game is going to be playoffs, and you have to be thinking that with the way that this game ended, the way that it was a tie, you have to be hungry for a bit more out of your next contest.
And you almost want to play Worcester State again if you're Fitchburg, right? You've got to be there. There have to be guys in that locker room saying, we could have had that. We're better than those guys. If we play them again, you know, obviously the most important thing is get as far in the playoffs as you can. You're going to play who you want. But I guarantee you there are guys in that locker room saying, I want to play those guys again.
And now moving on to, their next matchup isn't going to be until a week from today at the absolute earliest. If the miracles happen, Salem wins in regulation over Plymouth, then Fitchburg's next game won't be till March the 1st. So they'll definitely have at least the week off. Either they'll have Framingham on the 26th, or they'll have they'll have the 4-5 winner on the 1st of March. It's just a matter of looking ahead and getting rested up and making sure you're on point for next week. And obviously for us, we're at the mercy of the playoffs both here and in MIAA play before we can figure out when our next broadcast is going to be.
Yes, and so it's always a chaotic time here trying to figure out, scheduling, of course, when you have so many variables at play. But I'm sure as those chips fall, I'm sure that the team here at FATV is going to be right on top of bringing the coverage of all playoff games, both Fitchburg State and Fitchburg High School, Monty Tech, as well, as we work our way down the stretch and come to a close on what has been an exciting return to what's been a really exciting winter season of sports once again here in Massachusetts.
It's been incredible fun to work with you, Dan, and you, Tim, as well. It's been great working with all of the fantastic folks here at FATV. We want to thank one more time our director today, Nate Glennie, Travis Falk, running audio for us, and our tremendous camera crew, Caitlin Mobilia, Alyssa Fields, and Matt Sinclair. We also, Mr. Bolek, if you would be so kind, would like to give thanks to the underwriters who make this and every production possible here on FATV.
Indeed, John, those are Workers Credit Union, Rollstone Bank and Trust, UMass Memorial Health, Health Alliance Clinton Hospital, the Sentinel and Enterprise, Unitil, North End Subaru, and Minuteman Press.
So as we get ready to say our goodbyes and send you home for the night, guys, final thoughts on what was a fantastic senior day here at the Civic Center, starting with you, Mr. Foley.
Yeah, I just wanted to give one more shout out to all the seniors who were honored pregame here today, taking part in their last regular season conference game for the Green and Gold. Zach Cormier, of course, not in the lineup, but a big part of this team earlier in the season, and just, a good locker room guy to have, at least at this point in the season, a Fitchburg guy as well, so local. Brian Glover, Jordan Holmes, two long-standing defensemen for this Falcon program, also two captains on this team. Adam Couture, somebody who's been a flexible player for this Falcon squad, was a left wing back in that 2019-2020 season, and then ended up turning into a defenseman as the team needed him to be this year, and he's been a great addition on the back end for Fitchburg. And then, of course, you have Brian McGrath, just a player who's been an absolute pleasure to watch his career here, the best to stand between the pipes in a green and gold jersey. I'll say that without a doubt. We went over the numbers earlier in the broadcast. Just a slew of records that are under his name. An absolutely impressive career. And then, of course, you have Kevin Perry as well, the graduate assistant coach, who has been a great piece as well for Fitchburg so far this season, as all the guys wrap up their time here with the program.
And for me, just thinking about this game, in the first period, the big shift for momentum in favor of Worcester came after the double-minored Egan Wolford. In the second period, the big shift came after Wyatt Wilmshurst's misconduct. In the third period, there were no penalties. In overtime, there were no penalties. There were no opportunities, really, for Worcester to take advantage of a massive momentum shift. And I think that's really what helped the Falcons get to this tie. They couldn't find that fourth goal to crack Wyatt Freelander, but they came away with a point, and they at least keep those hopes of getting that #1 seed ever so slim. They're still there. They're very, very tiny, but they are still there.
Every Falcon is a Salem State fan, at least for tonight, as they look for that upset that would give Fitchburg State the #1 seed. Folks, as Tim said, we are uncertain of the next time we will be on air with hockey here on FATV, but please stay tuned. FATV.org is the place to go. Follow us on Facebook and Twitter, all over the place. Fitchburg Access on Instagram as well. We will have it for you just as soon as we have it ourselves. But until then, for Tim Foley, Dan Bullock, myself, John Gugerty, the entire FATV crew, thank you so much for being here. We'll see you next time right here on FATV.
I'm going to say same to both of those things.